a plan, oh grand and true, to bring back a custom just for you, a dowry's charm to rekindle the fire. In a world where romance might expire, he'd gather gold with wit and flair, pledging his heart beyond compare. For in the shimmer of that old dear gold lies a tale of love, both brave and bold. Bring back the
What's going on, guys? A little bit of technical difficulties. I'm not going to be able to bring chats big on screen, so I'll have to figure that out. But we'll be all right. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. Just disappointing. All right. Just see. Good to see a yellow-pilled programmer. Always a blessing. Mountain Man Tops, thanks for being here, man. I know you found me through Raymond's stream, right? Hopefully I'm not wrong about that. Don DeMarco says he can't be here tonight. Got family in town. No worries, man. If you do watch this on the replay, hope you enjoy yourself. Yeah, cool. We'll give it a little bit, couple minutes. Let the folks come in. We're going to have a good one tonight. Nothing too crazy. Gonna watch some Matt Walsh over here. Should bring that down. And I got some other videos too. We got an Akash Singh update, so that might be worth it. So there's plenty of them, and we'll see what happens. So we'll be okay. I feel a little off kilter because I can't bring the chats up. Very sad about that. Definitely wanted to be able to bring up the chats today. We'll try it one more time. Probably won't even work. Let's see. Here's hoping. Found you through Raymond. Cool. Man, I restarted my internet. Well, let's see if it works now. Hopefully you can see me now. All right, off to a rocky start, huh? Let's go and just play another quieter one. Okay, that sucks. What a crap day, huh? Let's see. Yo, Klaus. Hopefully you can see me, man. The stream literally just died once. This does not bode well for tonight. It is not looking good, man. Okay, so that has an error. Tight. Klaus, can you see me at all? What the fuck? What is going on with my internet, dude? That sucks. See if that works. Anybody want to confirm? Can y'all see and hear me? Okay, thank God. Well, listen, man, if the stream dies again, I'm sorry. I don't know what it is. I'm paying top dollar over here for some fast internet. I tried to restart my router and everything today. I don't know what the hell the problem is, but I might have to call my internet service provider and try to figure out what the hell's going on. So that's unfortunate. KC Kool-Aid King, I can see in here. Awesome. Hey, welcome in. I don't know if I've seen you in here before. So yeah, that's where we're at on the stream. I can't make anybody's chats big, so that's whack. And that's just kind of what we're dealing with, guys. So if anything, if it comes time to bring up a chat, what I'll do is I'll just try to make it big on this screen right here. Oh, but it's not going to let me do that. Fantastic. So I'll just have to bring it up this way. Like, this is it. This is my situation. But, you know, that's how we'll do it. So we'll recognize chats this way. So, yeah. But whatever. You guys can see the chat on the side of the screen. So I'll get it fixed by next week, guys. Real sad about that. Klaus, other than that, man, good to see you. KC Kool-Aid, recently found you watching Paul Elam. Okay, cool, man. Well, that's great to hear. Should be some exciting things coming down the line here with Paul Elam soon. He's working on a new podcast, and that should be something to look forward to for y'all. So he mentioned that in a few things. But yeah, great to have you here. So after this song, I say we just get straight into the reaction. Hopefully my internet lasts. And I appreciate everybody for giving me the likes. I've been trying to make more shorter videos throughout the week. So last week I made 2 videos, which, you know, I was proud of. I want to try to make more for y'all next week. So expect that. Nothing too crazy, man. Just simple videos, 5-10 minutes. And then, you know, hopefully my internet doesn't keep crapping out on me, but I'd like to keep the stream going every Saturday. Jay Cote, welcome in, man. Not bad, not bad. You know, I'm just grateful. It's Saturday. I fell asleep real hard last night, man. I went to a couple of birthday parties, and then I had, you know, some cake, and I ate all this food, and then I had a cigar, and I came home, I felt like I got hit by a train. I fell asleep. But today I got to get some rest, you know. And I'm grateful tomorrow's Sunday. I might even try to make another video for you guys tomorrow also. Like, all I care about right now is YouTube, man. I would love for the channel to do better and take off. You know, that would be sweet. So, yeah. Anyways, we got 12 people in here. There's no reason in holding up the show no more. Let's just go ahead and get into what we were going to do. And have some fun. Jay Cote says, you gave me a lot of homework the other time. Oh, I remember that. I'm still watching you. Got a lot of content on your channel. Oh, no problem, man. And no pressure, man. You know, go slow, take your time, enjoy things. If you ever want to, man, you can join the Discord. There's an invite in the description of this video. So, you know, there's always, you know, ways to hang out. We just like to hang out, and I try to keep things low pressure over here, man. I really do. So yeah. You know, the nice thing about YouTube is that when the stream goes down, the way the stream platform interfaces with YouTube, like, it lets you start your OBS streaming again, and what it'll do is it'll still go to the same URL, so you guys don't have to exit and click on a new one. So yeah, I'm still getting fair here instead of good, which is a little worrisome, but the hell with it, man. So God help us. And yeah, so I got a couple of videos, and then after this one, you know, assuming the stream doesn't just destroy itself, I got an update on this. I actually didn't watch the video. I haven't watched any of these videos because I was like, you know what? These will probably make great reaction. So might as well just hang out and save it for that. This guy looks like he's got colored contacts on. There's another one here. This is why your father's marriage lasted 40 years. So that one's okay. And then we have, I actually got I saved a lot of videos actually. This one by Paul Elam. I watched this today, and I was like, man, this might be worth reacting to on the stream. Maybe I'll have to save it for next week, but this was made 8 years ago, and it was when Jordan Peterson, you know, basically was crapping on MGTOW, and then he like apologized. And Paul made a really good video about it. I just thought, you know, it'd be nice to react to a video from so long ago just to remind us of what things were like back then. Then we got Dr. Todd Grande, who I like to react to. And he talks about clavicular and that phenomenon. Looks maxing influencer becomes hero to incels after bone smashing face. So I don't know, maybe we can watch that. We might save that for another day too, but this is what we're starting out with here. And you know, I don't really know what to expect. I haven't watched a Matt Walsh video in a while. Typically on this channel, you know, we see him as a typical tradcon. He's been critical of this space, which is fine. But, you know, maybe this video about the dating apps will be pretty good. So that's what we'll do there. J. Cote says, all right, I'm eager to watch it because you are one of the few ones that debunk the way the modern woman sees traditionalism. And that, my friend, is rare. I'll take a look at the Discord. Oh, man. Well, I appreciate that. That makes, man, I appreciate hearing that, man. That inspires me to make more content. Okay, so let's just go ahead and get into the Matt Walsh deal over here. And, you know, we're probably not going to hear him say this.
Your dowry, it's my right.
Let me just put a poll up real quick, actually, and just see how many people here, like, use dating apps. I'm just curious. How many of you are using dating apps presently? Or are you? Let's just keep it like that so we can keep it a yes or no. Are you using dating apps presently? Yes or no? I am curious about that. My guess is most people probably have them on their phone if they're not single. Or excuse me, if they are single. That'd be funny. And more or less swipe through it every now and then. Others are probably addicted to it. And some people probably go through phases. But, you know, more or less, I mean, you could find a girlfriend or something off a dating app. But I think as time goes on, they just prove to be way more annoying and they just find, you know, ways to get money out of you. And I hear there was like a dating app, maybe golden age, way in the beginning. But it just got progressively more about, you know, trying to get you to open the wallet, which, you know, fine, so be it. But just less, I don't know. They're not trying to help you get off the apps, if anything. Man, some of the crap I've seen, you know, I went on a date with some woman and she showed me her dating app. So she was on there for like a week. Somehow I ended up going on a date with her. It didn't work out. And she was not even that cool. But this woman showed me, she showed me one time on when we first met, and she had 750 likes, like within like a week or whatever the hell it was of being on there. And she was getting about 10 to like 20 super likes, you know, like where you have to pay. If you're not familiar with dating apps, like instead of just swiping, you can pay like $3 or $4 or whatever to just outright send a message to someone. And I remember asking, I was just like, how do you deal with that? Like, how do you go through all those? And she was just like, I don't. I was like, okay. And then like a week later, I think it was even less than that. She sent me a screenshot. I have a screenshot of this, and it was over 1,000 likes of people that had liked her on the app. And she was not even that tight. Like, I mean, I would class this woman at like a 7 max on her, you know, on a good day, I guess. But yeah, so that it was just like, I knew that was the case, but seeing it is always kind of like mine. It's still like, oh, wow, that's crazy, you know? So, hey, Luke, welcome in, man. We were having some stream trouble earlier. Literally, the stream collapsed. And then I can't even bring chats to make them big on screen. So, we're going to be without that tonight, but it's okay. I can still see chat. You guys can see chat, so I'll read them aloud. and do my best. If anyone super chats, I'll just try to make it big on screen by popping out the overall chat. So that's what we're doing. Great to see you in here. Even as a devout Christian, this is from Luke Nielsen, I'm so done with the religious Hanaya. Yeah, I think I saw your comment about the video I made. I am, you know, like I have never really, I'm not the type of person to like make it my care or mission to care about somebody else's spirituality or beliefs. But I just try to give everybody a chance, and you know, if their behaviors are bad, then you know, screw it. But if their behaviors are good, then I don't care what you believe. If you have good behaviors and you demonstrate and you are a good person, like just as far as like I can see, then believe whatever you want to believe, man. But yeah, some people, you know, they're on, that is their holy mission. And they will say it solves any problem and cures any ill. And sometimes that stuff gets really annoying. It does get really annoying. Like I really like religion and reading religion stuff. But sometimes I really can't stand religious people, as oxymoronic as that is. That's just maybe how I'm feeling these past few weeks. So yeah, I get it. I totally get it, Luke. Maybe it's just a guide thing as you get older or something. Maybe for me. Klaus says Matt probably is going to, oh gosh, is going to try to sell the church as a dating platform. Well, I mean, maybe it won't be so much that, but it might be something about try to meet people in your community. He'll probably say church too, like as far as community goes. You know, I mean, like when it comes to an alternative to dating apps, then that is, you know, it's either the dating apps or meeting, you know, the cold approach, so to speak, or following warm leads, right? Either people that you see in your everyday life or that you know through friends and family, the community, basically, right? So if it's not dating apps, it's probably something like that. Klaus says, I've never had a dating app on my phone ever. I never saw the appeal, but I may be just too old for that. Wow. I mean, I respect it, man. I respect it. Yeah, not many people can say that. Not many people can. Hey, just consider yourself, you know what? I consider you lucky. I'm just blessed for not having to deal with that. Mountain Man Top says Effective Purpose was streaming right now, and he was calling out a lot of the nonsense in Christian churches. Man, shout out to Effective Purpose. I really appreciated my discussion with him, and you know, he seems like a good, honest man. So that's awesome, man. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying some of his content there. He posts pretty regularly too, so it's a good channel to follow. Let me see if I missed any before we get back into this. Okay, I think we've seen enough. So let's go ahead and just see what we're in for here. Good. Okay, Matt Walsh.
I mentioned a few times in the past that I met my wife from online dating back in the...
Okay, I don't know where I heard this from, and maybe I'm conflating it with something else, but I believe he met his wife on Plenty of Fish. I'll have to confirm that. But that's what I remember.
Early days of the online dating, the existence of online dating, specifically at the time, it was eHarmony.
Oh, eHarmony. Okay, that's what it was. I don't know why I thought Plenty of Fish. Yeah, I mean, and listen, that was probably when it was like not so much apps. Like maybe it was like you actually had to go on a PC. You had to sit down at a PC and go to an internet browser and probably go to eHarmony. There was probably no left or right swiping at that time.
It was well over a decade ago. Actually, it was like 15 years ago when these platforms were surging in popularity. They had just sort of come into existence recently. And there were plenty of independent dating apps and websites, mostly websites. There weren't a lot of apps at the time.
There you go.
All competing with one another to attract as many users as possible. And because an enormous amount of venture capital money was flowing into the industry, most of these dating services weren't worried about monetizing everything or nickel and diming their users. They were trying to be the best platform in a very crowded market. Now, in the case of eHarmony specifically, they came up with a unique idea, a massive questionnaire consisting of more than 450 questions. And that's how they matched people. The whole point was to ensure that You had as much information as possible about the person that you were about to talk to. And when you did choose to talk to someone, you could see their photo. You could send them messages. So none of this required paying a lot of extra money. Fast forward just a few years, and eHarmony made the questionnaire optional. They also reduced it by hundreds of questions, and they made that change for the same reason that every other dating service did. The less customers know about a potential match, the more customers will be willing to pay to unlock additional information. And maybe more importantly, if customers don't have much information about a potential match, it's more likely the date will go poorly, which is good for the dating app because that means the customer won't get married and delete the app. Right?
Sounds like people have an appeal to the mystery box. They're like, well, there's this person over here, but then there's the mystery box, and I want to see what's in the mystery box. So the less information, the more of a mystery it is, which is probably more appealing on a psychological level.
What happened with dating apps is they developed somewhat of a perverse incentive where if they succeed in matching you with someone and that relationship works out well and you get married, well, then they've lost a customer.
Well, they've lost 2 customers, yeah, because, you know, I guess if men are typically paying and women are waiting to get hollered at, then the money's coming from the guys.
By definition. So it's actually better for them if it doesn't go well.
And I've heard this before. This isn't unique to Matt Walsh. A lot of folks have mentioned this.
Back to them. So pretty much every dating app has settled on a similar strategy, and that's led to catastrophic results. It's one of the reasons why the dating market now is a total disaster. Take a look at the stock price of Match Group, which owns the vast majority of dating services, including Hinge, Match.com, OkCupid.
I think they might own Tinder too. It's crazy how many different apps that they own.
Plenty of Fish, and so on. They've consolidated the market to a large degree, which obviously eliminates competition and led to the same kinds of problems across many different apps. So here's the stock price, which you can see. They're down roughly 80%.
Good for them. It's about time. Hopefully we can help those numbers go down even more. Hey, what if this is just like a graphical representation of MGTOW? You know what I mean? It's just like MGTOW has, from 2022 in the peak, and then it's just like, they're like, we're walking away. Stock price is down. Good for them. Hey guys, I can't pull your thing up. It says, gonna chill with my son, had to come smash the like button. We'll watch replay. Absolutely, man. I hope you have a great evening there hanging out with your son. You guys do some fun fatherly son activities like play Legend of Zelda together and order a pizza. Or maybe you guys, make some music together. Or, watch a good movie or something like that. Or maybe just sit around and read some stuff and discuss things while also eating things. Have a great night, though, man. Thanks for coming in, bro.
They've been steadily buying up all their competitors, but it hasn't worked out. They even hired someone named Bernard Kim, who used to run Zynga, the mobile games developer. Kim was an expert at getting people addicted to simplistic and rigged games, so Match Group brought him on board for that reason, to get them addicted to their apps. Now, if you've noticed that dating apps resemble online games or gambling, well, that's why. There's a reason for that. But the plan didn't work. Match Group continued to hemorrhage users, so after a few years, they fired Kim, and they brought in a real estate executive to lead the company. Meanwhile, Match's chief competitor, Bumble, isn't doing much better. Here's their stock price over the last 5 years. Again, pretty terrible. It's something like...
Okay, there's Bumble. So I guess Bumble isn't associated with Match. Yeah, that's around 2022. This is kind of your peak here. Bumble had some other issues too, because I think they got sued at one point for discrimination, gender discrimination or something. Yeah, so they're down. Okay.
Like a 90% drop. There really isn't any dating service that's doing better. These are the two top players. Bumble's revenue last year fell by around 10%. They lost nearly $1 billion. Tinder lost 8% of its subscribers. Match lost 5% of its paying members. Around 65% of Tinder users are men, and the match rate for men is around 5% compared to 44% for women. Overall, according to Pew, around half of women report receiving an unsolicited graphic sexual image online, something that predominantly happens, of course, on dating apps. There's also plenty of data to suggest that despite the prevalence of dating
I don't know. I think like those dating apps, like from what I remember, I don't even think you can really send pictures even when you're chatting with them. So, I mean, maybe when they take it to another platform or exchange numbers or something. But real quick, let me end the poll here. Are you using dating apps presently? 78% say no. All right, man. Shout out. Well, that's good. If we can get the other 22% on board, then we might really be able to collapse, the stock prices even further on these companies.
apps and the way their marketing pushes hookup culture, young people simply aren't going for it. According to one survey, more than half of single American men had 0 dates in 2025. And the New York Post reports that
More than half of single American men had 0 dates in 2025. Dang.
quote, Americans are losing interest in sex. A government study has found a whopping 24% of males 22 to 34 had not had sex in 22-23.
Losing interest in sex. That's an interesting way to describe this phenomena. More than likely. Let's see. I mean, okay, a whopping 24% of males 22 to 34 had not had sex in 22-23, up from 9% in 2013-2015. For females, the number was 13%, up from 8%. Yeah, so barely for the women there.
Up from 9% in 2013 to 15. For females, that number was 13%, up from 8%. And when asked if they'd had sex in the last 3 months, 35% of men said no, another big jump from 20%. Women didn't fare much better, with 31% concurring this time around, up from 21%.
Last 3 months.
So it's a bit like the SSRI numbers. SSRIs were introduced to make everybody happier and less depressed, and now decades later, Americans are more depressed than ever. And dating apps have followed a similar trajectory. They were supposed to lead to more dates and marriages, hopefully, rather than just hookups. But the opposite is happening. So what exactly went wrong? How have dating apps completely and utterly failed? And many of the people watching this right now are well aware that they failed because you've tried them and they didn't work at all. Now, one explanation involves an economic concept known as adverse selection. Now, the idea is that whenever you go to buy a product that may have some hidden serious defect, like a used car, for example, you tend to demand a big discount. That's why cars lose so much of their value when you leave the dealership. Nothing wrong with your car, but other people don't know that. They have no idea what you've done with it since you left the dealership, and that uncertainty all by itself lowers the value of the car substantially. And for that reason, people who own used cars in perfect condition are hesitant to sell. They hold on to their cars for a while longer since they know, that they aren't holding a lemon. And the result is that the market for used cars gets worse. More and more lemons enter the market. The way the car market has dealt with this problem is by providing more information to buyers. Services like Carfax and CarMax tell you about the car's accident history, they pass inspections, and so on.
I feel like with dating, it's there's not really a service to do that. It's more so the people themselves are telling you what they want you to know, especially when it comes to background information. Because, I mean, if you're still meeting people through apps that are essentially strangers, how do you cross-check that information? There's no database that's just like, yeah, this person, had an accidental pregnancy 4 years ago and got an abortion. I mean, that would violate HIPAA laws to see that. Probably in older times when dating was done through the community, that then if people knew each other, then you could probably hear through the gossip, so to speak, what was going on with somebody. Then you can get more of a Carfax that way. But let's see where he's going with it. Hey, Tacticus, welcome in, man. I got traded in by my ex-wife, bro.
As reporter Greg Rosalsky with NPR's Planet Money has pointed out, a similar problem exists in the online dating world, except it's not so easy to get a warranty or an inspection on a potential date.
There you go. Yeah, okay, so we agree.
And therefore, the information gap is enormous and remains high unless you commit to a date and do plenty of research on your own. And again,
yeah, you got to hire like a private investigator, if you're getting serious with this person, to try to see what they can figure out. There's like certain information. Maybe you could see if somebody, got divorced before. Pretty hard for people to hide that they had kids. I guess it's possible. they don't have custody, then you probably wouldn't know. Men can do this because typically women get the custody. But yeah, I've seen women have babies with men and then find out later on that they've had babies with other women. KC Kool-Aid King says, do you have an opinion on single men using an agency to have a kid through surrogacy? Big upfront cost, 150 to 250K, but eliminates divorce risk and loss of parental rights. I never see this discussed. That's a good question, man. I should almost write that down just for a 10-minute video topic. But of course, I'll still answer you here now. Let me just write that down. Opinion on men opting for surrogacy for kids, for children. You know, to be honest, man, I've always been, I have always been, you know, against the kind of single parent thing. Like, it's not, you know, like women do this too. There's a whole single mothers by choice community. I've made some videos on them before. And I mean, this is just my personal opinion, so it's not like I can sit here and give you all these facts and stuff about it. But I just feel like it's kind of like sad, I guess, you know, like, because the kid's not going to know their mom, basically, or they're not going to essentially have a mom. I mean, you know, biologically, yes, but not legally, and there will be no relationship there. So I think, I don't know, maybe it would be okay, but like deep down inside for me, I feel like that's not a route that like I would go down, you know. And I keep the same opinion for the women that do the single mother by choice thing. I don't think it's good. I think Amber Heard did that, you know. And, you know, I'm not going to say what people's motivations are. You know, some of it is avoiding the family law and all that. There's just something with it that doesn't sit right. Like, I would rather just be childless, you know. That's just me personally, you know. I once mentioned this on stream, but who knows, you know, maybe some child from a single mother by choice meets somebody else from a single father by choice that had a surrogate, and they fall in love, and it's an amazing romance story. Of course, we know how love stories often turn out. Tragic. So yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. You know, I think I'm just kind of maybe getting a bit, just looking at it with rose-colored glasses a bit. Like, you know, when it comes to like having children, like, you're supposed to have children, and then they got a mom and a dad, and there's uncles and aunts and cousins from this side and cousins from that side, and two sets of grandparents, and it brings you into the community that way, you know. Having a child in this way, like, yeah, you'd still have your family, your friends that you're connected with, but there isn't this other part that you're supposed to get through, you know, marrying and having this kind of life with somebody, and it's supposed to be better. It's supposed to get you more into a community. You know what I mean? KC says, yeah, it's a tough thing. A kid without a mother is definitely a negative. Yeah, like, I don't know, you know, I do believe that there are a necessary, you know, things. They're like, yeah, you know, you have orphans and, you know, maybe an orphan or someone that lost their mom early on, and they can get brought up by their father, and maybe they turn out okay. But I do feel like deep down, you know, it's definitely, if it's by some kind of thing that's out of your control, it's one thing. But if it's by your own choice to do that and to bring a child in this way, I think it's just, I don't know if that's good for the long term for the child, you know. But, you know, man, I could be completely wrong. And, you know, they screwed up family law so much that I can see why guys are looking that way. So, you know, let me put in that kind of gives me an idea for a poll. Do you think you can raise a child on your own? I mean, like, on your own, I guess. And we'll just keep that as a yes or no. Govin Zachariah Hey, welcome and Govin. Nah, a kid without a mother will be fine. I mean, listen, I've seen, I've heard that, obviously they say kids raised by single dads versus single moms, the prognosis is a lot better for children with single dads. Um, but I don't know. I think in a lot of those situations, the child still knows who their mom is or has a relationship with that. So maybe psychologically speaking, there's still something there. But to just not have a mom or a child not have a dad, like no chance of that. You know what I mean? Because legally, you can't even have a relationship with them. I think it's really odd, So I don't know, man. I'm not gonna tell people absolutely not to do it because who am I to say that? To me, I'm going off of just my gut feeling here. It just doesn't feel like I would just rather be without kids. That's me personally. Kids need both parents. That's from Yellow Pill Programmer. Chasing Grace. Hello, everyone. Hey, Chasing Grace. Welcome in. Shout out to you guys for being here. And thanks to everybody who hit the like button. If you haven't hit the like button, please hit the like button. That helps me, helps the channel. Maybe we can get this going places. Been trying to make more videos lately. I've just felt a sudden inspiration. Maybe it's the beautiful springtime weather that's coming here. So yeah, thanks for that question, man. I like it when people ask me random questions sometimes. So we'll go ahead and get back here to what Matt is talking about.
The apps themselves have the incentive to hide this information, which is what they do, so that you pay for it. Or even better for them, really, you go on bad dates, you're back on the dating app. So what happens as a result? Well, high quality men and women tend to get dissatisfied with the dating apps, just like people who own used cars in perfect condition tend to get dissatisfied with the used car market. And when those high quality men and women abandon the apps, a death spiral results. As Greg Rosalsky puts it, quote, like lemons driving good cars out of the used car market, maybe sleazeballs push great catches out of dating apps and ultimately ruin the quality of the whole app experience. So people go to a new app with the hopes of finding something better, and the cycle starts again.
I think that's kind of what happens. Yeah, like people do try to find new apps. But to be honest, I feel like there really isn't that many new apps, at least not apps that have, enough people on it or something like that. Me personally, lately, like I have some dating apps, but I haven't really been caring too much about them so much. I don't know, man. I think the way to really do it is something through like if you are very serious, especially about getting married, or something like that, or something very long term and frankly honest, and maybe speaking to connections that you have or people that you respect who might know somebody. I went to a buddy's, his daughter turned 3. And so I went there, they're having a birthday there. I went to 2 birthdays yesterday. I went to a birthday for my buddy's daughter, and then right after that, I went to a birthday for my other buddy's dad. So I went to a 3-year-old's birthday, and then I went to like a 60-year-old's birthday right after. But when I was at my buddy's, daughter's birthday, his oldest brother was telling me that someone had reached out to him, and because he was just like, oh, because I was telling my birthday's coming up. He was like, how old are you turning? I'm telling him how old I'm turning. I'm like, man, I'm an old man now. I'm over the hill. He's like, so when you thinking about getting married, And I was like, oh, I mean, I'm not, I'm open to it. And he was just like, yeah, it's a friend of mine. And he was telling me they're very well, like, he was basically saying, is looking for someone for their daughter. I was like, oh, that's interesting. I was like, yeah, I mean, I'm always open to hear. I mean, I'm a gold pillar. I'll listen to any deal. And then, he tells me like, she's got I was a pharmacist, basically. I was like, a pharmacist. Okay. And, their family is apparently well-to-do. And I was like, I mean, yeah, I'm open to talk here. I can't promise nothing, but, we'll see. And I don't know, that's just a very different approach. It felt very different. I don't know if that's going to go anywhere or not. It may not, depending. But that kind of approach to the whole situation is very different from, two strangers swiping on each other and then meeting, one evening after work, or, I don't know, for coffee or somewhere. So I don't know. Just an interesting anecdote there. Thanks for the honest answer, Shah. No worries, man. Widows. Hope you guys don't mind me talking too much. Like, I just like reading the chat sometimes. Tactica says widows have zero choice and parent anyway. However, a dead spouse versus divorced spouse affects everything differently. Yeah, I think you might have something there. I don't know off the top of my head, but I can see that. Yeah, like there's an actual reason there, and there's not this kind of enmity between parents, and one parent isn't constantly bringing in their new love interests into the house. A lot of it, people get divorced, and one person has majority custody, and then this person comes in, and then they're gone, and then that person comes in, and essentially bringing strangers into the house. There can be a whole level of chaos invited in that, Yellow Pill Programmer says, I've done well on some Christian apps, but I know that's not an answer for everyone. Yeah, I mean, well, that's good, if it works. I won't say like I've done like well. I mean, I've been able to get like dates and stuff, like enough to be like, all right, well, this works for me enough to have it, Some things I probably could have stuck with, but I don't know. To be honest, I've never really felt like, I'm gonna walk the distance with this person or something. Dating apps is kind of like looking through the clearance rack in some ways, but I guess it depends. Like you said, like you mentioned Christian apps there, so maybe there's some more serious ones, but yeah. So
now, it goes without saying how an app like Tinder involves a significant information gap. You're told to swipe right or left based on someone's photo. That's basically it.
Well, technically it's a photo and a bio, right? Now, most people are probably just looking at the pics and they're like, okay, you know what I mean? But, they can put more there. I'm just going to end the poll real quick just so it's not outstanding there. Do you think you can raise a child on your own? 50% says yes, 50% says no. I mean, to be honest, like if it was by myself, I would still think there would probably be some help with from extended family to some extent, depending on what their situation is. Like, there's probably going to be some times where you need some babysitting involved, and just certain things. I mean, like if I had a daughter too, I'd be like, well, gosh, I hope I can find someone that can maybe someone in the family that can possibly help her with, woman-centered issues. You know what I mean? That can serve as a guide there, maybe where I can't probably solve some of those problems. You know what I mean? And same thing even with the son, still looking for something like that. So that's a challenging thing, Interesting poll results. Yeah, definitely. All right, moving in.
But because of the consolidation in the industry, every single app works like this now. Didn't used to, didn't back in my day, but now it is. It does. OkCupid.
That's a sad thing, it just there's a I don't know. It's just, I feel like it's not even for just dating apps. I feel like so many things in our current market are like that, where they just all. You ever heard of the term "inshitification"? And it seems like things are just kind of losing uniqueness, and I don't know. Like maybe even like newer video games are kind of like this, but there are just these ones that dominate it, and there's less like smaller studios doing stuff. But I could be wrong. I don't know. Steam has a bunch of stuff.
To have an in-depth questionnaire like eHarmony, complete with free messaging and so on. It was primarily built as a website you'd access on your computer, on your desktop instead of a casual app on your phone. But that was too effective, as it turns out. So when OkCupid was purchased by Match Group, they got rid of all of those features. Watch.
And this isn't just theoretical. We can take the example of OkCupid, which has actually gone through a bit of a transformation from being a dating app that dealt with this problem of bad apples a lot better than the new school of dating apps, into gradually becoming another Tinder clone. I found this comment of someone who described their experience, and I think it captures quite well what's going wrong with these apps. OkCupid used to be really great before they were sold off to Match. Match is the company that owns Tinder and Hinge and all of the other ones.
Ironic to call it Match.
It was a pretty simple concept that worked really well. Start people off by forcing them to answer at a minimum like 25 matching questions around things like politics, religion, handling money, hygiene, etc. Core factors that people would consider when dating, essentially. But the kicker was that you also got to specify how you would like your potential match to respond to the same question. And you got to weight that response based on how much you cared about that particular question. After about 25 questions, you could always get a large enough sample size to match people, but it worked best at matching people that had answered over 100 questions each. It was like magic. Anyone with over an 80% match on that site always ended up being a surefire, amazing conversation.
I mean, that's interesting. I'm sure people had different intentions too then. They're probably more open to a long-term thing. Then, there's a reason that the swipe apps supplanted this style of OkCupid. And that's because, it kind of became these hookup apps, basically, which, I think probably brought people into the temptation of them. So that was just like, okay. And people started doing that more and more and more. And I can't help but think of like Coach Greg Adams. Then maybe that whole thing radically changed the market. So now you're moving from like this old style of OkCupid, and you're going to the apps as they are, as they are now, and it destroys the dating market. And then you get the monetized dating marketplace, which is what Coach Greg Adams talks about, and things like the junior college or, people figuring out like just how to take advantage of that or take advantage of others. And then on the other side of that, it's like you got divorce and all these kinds of things, which are making people probably less serious about getting married in general anyways, right? So there's a reason OkCupid probably sold out to Match, and we're like, all right, the hell with it. Let's just do this. Yeah, because we're not making as much money as we could, and we lost these other apps. You know what I mean? So now at this point, though, maybe people are just so sick of this kind of dating because Coach is right, and it's moved towards the monetized dating marketplace, which is separate from these Match-style dating apps. People are sick of hookup culture now. As a general rule, is from Luke Nielsen, everything online is fake AF and crap. Real life is better offline. Yeah, I think you're right about that. Klaus says, I'm surprised by the poll, to be honest. I'm pretty sure everybody could if there's a situation you can't avoid. I know several guys who were thrown into that situation and all did well. I like that you're sharing that. And I believe that's the case too. I think a lot of the reason for the no, like I think those people who voted no still could do the basic stuff of raising the kids and, feeding and all this kind of stuff. But I think there might be a part there where they feel like there's just something missing for the children that they can't give them. But more or less, Klaus, I think you're probably right. Like, yeah, I mean, we could probably, bring them up in this way. It would be challenging because there's not two people, but, yeah, Clout, more or less, I mean, I'm thinking you're probably right there. Tactica says early adopter customers was limited and filtered out by social stigma of using the internet to date. Now considered normative. Yeah, and that, I think that tells us just how the entire sort of scene changed and the culture around it changed, Then that hit a kind of critical mass and everything changed again, and the sort of early fun golden age of the swipe culture ended real quick. Not real quick, but yeah, quick enough, and then it became, it's moving closer to what Coach discusses now, monetized dating. Govin Zacharias says, I'm banned on most dating apps. Oh, man. I wonder what you did to get banned.
It worked a little too well, so they bought it, and then they destroyed it. They also nuked tons of other features that OkCupid used to have, including My Best Picture, which allowed random people to decide which of your pictures looked best as a way of sort of helping you out. There was also a feature that would let other people suggest edits to your entire profile and play wingman to a degree, sort of. For obvious reasons, they got rid of that. It helped too many people improve their matches. And then again, they go on dates, it works out, they're no longer customers. They also got rid of Crazy Blind Date because it was too fun and spontaneous. They eliminated events and public meetups, which were a way to meet people in a more natural setting and bond over a shared hobby.
When he says they got rid of public meetups, was that something that they did on these old websites? Like they had these like, how would Match Group get rid of blind dates and these kinds of things? Maybe I missed it.
The winks and awards and forums were deleted as well. In the old days, OkCupid would also tell you how likely someone was to reply to a message. And it would even let people leave a review at the bottom of your profile after you went on a date, which admittedly could have some unpredictable and undesirable results, but it would definitely provide more information and some opportunity for hilarity to ensue.
Reviews? Is that what he said?
Leave a review at the bottom of your profile after you went on a date, which admittedly could have...
I don't know how. That's kind of weird. Oh, they were great. Well, then why didn't you guys get married? Like, it seems like it's only going to be negative. Male Space, welcome in, man. Male Space says, I used AOL chat rooms and love at AOL in 1999. I was a very early user of dating technology. Wow. I don't remember love at AOL. I just remember AIM, which I think was AOL Instant Messenger. And that was like, by the time I was like a freshman going into high school, AIM was something that a lot of the kids used, basically, you can say. I mean, teenagers. So I'd made that. Yeah, that was an interesting thing. And it's just like, now I can talk to like my friends and stuff outside of school hours. Like you can be at your computer in the evening, or I mean, essentially the family computer. It's not like I had my own computer back then. Yeah, but you could send a message to your buddies or something like that. That was, yeah. And then MySpace came out. Did MySpace come out freshman year? Around there. I remember making a MySpace. My God. Then Facebook was like around the tail end of high school for me. Will you be collaborating with Pearl anytime soon? I do have something coming up soon. I won't mention it now, but coming up here real soon. So yeah, we're working on something. So yeah, sorry, a Male Space sent me on a walk down memory lane over here. Yeah, my gosh. Yeah, and then I remember deleting all my social media for a while. Mid college, I did that. And it wasn't until I was doing nothing on social media, like nothing. I'd never even had an Instagram at that point. And then what happened was I was watching YouTube one day and I saw people playing video games, and you can see them on the screen in the bottom right. And I was like, how are they doing that? I was watching Awesome Games Done Quick, AGDQ, and they were doing speed runs. And I was like, that's so cool. And I was like, they're getting donations. Like, it just didn't make sense. I was like, why would anybody want to pay some money for that? Like, there's people out here donating $20 because some guys play. Like, I just didn't understand. And then I realized, wait a minute. So they were beaming this live somehow. Like, how are they getting the donations? Like, my brain was putting it all together. Then I was like, wow, I discovered live streaming and I thought it was so cool. So I made a Twitch. And I realized to try to grow the Twitch, I'd have to have other social medias. And then I made like an Instagram and stuff. but yeah, so I didn't have a Twitter. I didn't have any of those things until I started doing that. But yeah, anyways. Game Theory says, this theory about removing features to keep them from getting real matches, to keep them as customers for longer, is just wrong. They do these things to make the app more addictive and gamified. Well, that's the thing, because he's kind of making it seem like OkCupid was this, it just worked so well that like this cabal of people had to come in and sabotage it. I don't really think it's that. I think they did make them more addicting, and the real juice to get people there is people just wanted to hook up and do bad stuff. So those apps became very popular, and people were willing to spend money to try to be on the hookup app instead of the, hey, are you going to be serious with me app, which the 400 questions presupposes. And then people are probably also too lazy to want to fill out 400 questions when they could just, swipe left and right. But OkCupid had kind of lasted from probably those older days. So Match Group is just like, well, there's still enough traffic on here. Let's just buy them and see what we could squeeze out of this. Yeah, so I don't know. I think you got something there, gamer. Luke Nielsen says, gaming. I'm anxiously waiting Metro 2039. I love that series. Metro 2039. Man, I'm not sure what that is. What is Metro 2039? Like, I've heard of Metroid as far as a game goes. Metro, though. Metro must be a different series. Oh, is the upcoming 4th mainline entry to the Metro video game series. That sounds cool. The game returns to the claustrophobic tunnels of the Moscow Metro. That sounds like a horror game. Claustrophobic. In the year 2039, roughly 4 years after the events of Metro Exodus. Wow, what kind of games is the Metro series? I'm just trying to get, like, is this like a shooter or a platformer or like a collection of post-apocalyptic first-person shooters? I could kind of see some of the music that you make match in some of this. While the core gameplay involves shooting, it is widely known for blending several other distinct genres to create a high-tension experience. Nice. I mean, survival horror, man. I'm bad with the horror games, honestly. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know what it is, man. Ever since I played Resident Evil as a kid, like I couldn't beat the games. It was too scary. I'll watch the games. I love watching people play the games, but I'm not proud of saying this. They're actually too scary for me to play. So, all right.
Some unpredictable and undesirable results, but it would definitely provide more information and some opportunity for hilarity to ensue as well. And therefore, it was also eliminated. Your gutters are not a DIY experience.
Oh, yeah. Gutters are, you got to do what you got to do every year. All right.
And by the way, when Match Group bought LEF filter.
Okay, we're almost there. Klaus says, my guess would be OkCupid had a very different audience in the beginning, and that's what made it work. That's what I think so, too. I mean, the people that were, like, OkCupid was seen as a place probably where a lot of the older people were. So, I don't know. Like, it would have been different back then. And I think people were probably still more willing to even be married and do stuff like that. I don't know. Luke says the game series is pretty awesome, but yes, because I understand Russian and culture, it is an extra level for me. That's good. Well, I mean, that probably feels more immersive.
It's up to 30% off at leaffilter.com/Walsh. And by the way, when Match Group bought OkCupid, something else was eliminated too. A bunch of blog posts from the founders of OkCupid were immediately erased. Those blog posts included this one, quote, "Why you should never pay for online dating. Sites like Match and eHarmony are in business to get you to buy a monthly subscription. The particular way these sites have chosen to make money creates strange incentives for them. The only way they don't make money is to show subscribers to other subscribers. It's the worst thing they can do for their business because there's no potential for new profit growth.
Welcome in,
Remember,
Okaphobic.
the average account length is just 6 months, and people join for big blocks of time at once. So getting a new customer on board is better for them than squeezing another month or two out of a current subscriber." This is the flow chart.
That's kind of interesting.
That OkCupid included in their blog post just to drive the point home.
You see someone you like. Are you a subscriber? Yes or no? Yes, you send a message. No, maybe you pull out your credit card to say hi. Okay. But even if you are a subscriber, it's most apps, like if you're a subscriber, you pay like the weekly or whatever it is, like you can get unlimited likes or you can see who likes you, but you can't message them right away unless you pay extra for that. Is the recipient a subscriber? No. Maybe they pull out their credit card to respond. Yes, you can talk to each other.
Which you can see, the incentives, as you can see there, are completely backwards. Because something like 95% of accounts aren't paying the subscription fee, these websites want to avoid matching subscribers with other subscribers. They want to.
You know what's interesting? like to some level, I won't say that like matchmaking has to be free. Because I've read some old newspaper articles where like the matchmaker that sets the two people together basically would get some percent of the dowry as the matchmaker's fee, essentially. You know, it was a small percent, but depending on how big the dowry was, that could be pretty significant. So historically, it's like, I mean, maybe some people were doing it for free, but I guess it can be seen as a service that is paid for on some level. You know what I mean? By both of the people there once the match is made, essentially. But, you know, the more recent dating apps aren't really about these lifelong matches. They're more about just, you know, I don't know. I just don't know if they're matching people, you know, with that in mind. But, you know, it's more about like these micro transactions, if you can call them that. $10 here, $5 here, $20 there. And you just kind of go on there, and it is almost like this video game sort of subscription. And it's like the thing about these apps too is like, if you have like a little bit of luck, you can be on there for like 3 or 4 months, get nothing. Then you meet one chick and it goes well, and that lasts for some amount of time. Then you're like, okay. And then you're like, well, it worked. You know what I mean? And then, all right, now you're back on there and you're just like, all right, let me throw $40 at it and just, you know, spend my coins here like I'm walking into the casino, basically. So, you know, they can get people addicted. I do believe that. Oikophobic, hello. Klaus says, no, it was not old people on OkCupid. I can't remember when they started. And yeah. I don't mean like older, like boomers. I just mean like older than the people that I mean, I could be wrong, but I would think it's at least a generation before the ones that really got into like Tinder. So it'd be like more like Gen X than like millennials or especially Gen Z, you know, but and some of my peers tried. It was mostly nerds and technical inclined people. Yeah, I think someone mentioned it earlier, like because back then it'd be like, oh, you guys met on the internet. That's weird. I can see kind of the nerds being the one to do that. Brute Man says, hey, Shah, yo, Brute Man, shout out to you. I can't really bring anybody's chats big on the screen because the app I use died, unfortunately. Shout out to the 20 people that are watching and the 12 people who liked. If the other 80, you can just pick up your phone or just pick up the remote. Just pick up the remote. I know it's a pain in the ass. Just roll over because you're laying down right now. Pick up the remote. Just hit up and then down and then right and then hit, you know, the OK button and just hit the like button. That'd be fantastic. You have to realize when OkCupid started, we were still on dial-up modem. Oh my gosh. Yeah, see, that's the thing too. So it was like, I mean, I don't know, like how much money were they going to get out of people? Like, how are you going to swipe? How are all those pictures going to load that fast? And you're going to be able to swipe left and right on these profiles. Like the technology wasn't even there, really. So, yeah, there's something to be said about that. How are you? I'm here. I can make it. I'm doing well, man. I can't complain. I'm just waking up. I had kind of a long night last night. I smoked this cigar, and it was a strong cigar. But, you know, thankfully I only had one, so I didn't overdo it. I've been having a lot of sweets the past few days, so that's not good. And I'm going to continue to do that through tomorrow, and then Monday I'll get back on the horse. So that's where I'm at right now. So yeah, it's been it's been good. I'm grateful, you know. But anyways, back to Matt Walsh.
Grow the number of subscribers. And the only way to do that is to match subscribers with non-subscribers who in general are going to be less serious about the whole process. It's fairly straightforward and intuitive to understand, but at the same time, at the time anyway, it was remarkable.
That's interesting though. So yeah, matching subscribers with non-subscribers.
For OkCupid to post something like this. And they posted blogs like this constantly. OkCupid had one blog post which ran the numbers from Match.com's official disclosures and found that, quote, it turns out you are 12.4 times more likely to get married this year if you don't subscribe to Match.com. OkCupid was relentless in criticizing their competitors.
Let me see this real quick.
It turns out you are 12.4 times more likely to get married this year if you don't subscribe to Match.com. OkCupid was relentless in criticizing their competitors because, unlike their competitors, they were clearly invested in making money through advertising, and they weren't interested in a business model that strung their customers along.
That's interesting right there. I like this history.
But all that changed.
1 second. Gamer, real quick. Gamer says, I have another kid on the way, by the way. I think you mentioned that to us last week. I could be misremembering, but congratulations to you, man. Your story of 12 concurrent child support cases is my hero. Man, dude, it was more than 12. Like, it was like around, I always forget the exact number. It was like 15 or 16. But the thing was, man, is it was more than 15 kids because he had multiple kids with some of the women. Can I ask you, man, what country are you in? If you're in the United States, you're a bold man. You are a bold man. I don't know. I feel like I gotta salute you somehow. You know.
Are you not entertained?
Here it is.
You're an absolute legend,
Yeah,
man.
you're a legend, man. I don't even know.
How dare you?
I don't even know what to say there, but I'm very curious about that. Why is marriage the metric we care about? American marriage is a sham, and kids outside marriage is more profitable. USA. Bro, I hope you're out there with a moderate. I mean, listen, if you make a lot of money, shout out to you, and I hope you make a lot of money. But I hope you're out there just chilling. A lot of the guys that I see that have these kind of multiple cases, or they have a bunch of kids with a bunch of women, they're just like they make like very normal income. You know what I mean? Like that guy that I remember with the 15, like whatever it was, like he worked a very normal job, you know, which was the interesting thing about it. Luke Nielsen says, I got to bail. I'll finish watching later. Have a good one. Yeah, no worries, man. Thanks for coming in and saying hi, Luke. I appreciate you, man. You have a good rest of your evening. Man, I got serious food addiction issues right now. Like, I feel like ordering a pizza. Dan the Man says, hey, Shah. Yeah, hey, good to see you, Dan the Man. Good to see you. None of them have pushed for child support yet, so fingers crossed I won't get hit with even one in the next 18 years. Dude. Listen, man, you got to be out here making content, man. Start making videos and doling out the secrets. You know what? Don't even write a book and charge people like just $30 for it a pop. Just, you know what? Go for it, man. The hell with it. Make the money. That's hilarious, man. Shout out to you, man.
And they weren't interested in a business model that strung their customers along. But all that changed when they were bought out. So all of those blog posts were deleted. And now OkCupid resembles yet another Tinder clone. It became precisely the thing that it had been publicly criticizing for years. For high quality, interesting, and mentally stable women who are interested in a long-term relationship, all of this is a major problem. You know, they had less and less reason to use OkCupid, so they abandoned the site. And the guys were left with extremely annoying matches. Pretty much every anecdotal video you'll find on any social media platform confirms that lemons, to continue the analogy, are indeed a major problem with these apps. Watch.
If you're between the ages of 21 and 35 right now and you are online dating, I am here to tell you, you are wasting every single second that you are on those apps, okay? I've gone on numerous dates with women from those apps. I have matched with God knows how many, and they always end the same. It's always them talking all about themselves. They talk down to you. Some of these girls feel like because they found you on a dating app, they feel like they're like above you. They feel like they're not also on the same exact dating app. They're like, oh, well, I'm just on here to see what my options are. I'm just on here to, you know, do a little swiping. So are you. And they think they can talk down to you for that. God forbid you actually get on a date and then say something that they don't love every single aspect of. And they're going to say something like, oh, that's giving insert stupid ass adjective, theory, or era that they found off of TikTok to describe you in some negative way, when in reality, you're just acting like a normal human, okay? I can't tell y'all how many doors I have opened for these women, and I hear, as you should, instead of thank you.
Man, yeah. I mean, listen, we talk about the gold pill around here, but I feel like, some of the red pill advice might benefit this guy. He sounds like he's going through a little bit of a rage phase right now. I think at this point, a lot of guys that are on the apps, they've kind of figured it enough to kind of just go along with it to get some action. So, like, people who are successful on the apps, they'll do that. But then more or less, like, the women that they're meeting on there, they're just like, well, I don't know. Like, they're not feeling incentivized to go the distance with them, so to speak. This guy seems like he's having problems right from the jump on the first date. But okay, yeah, maybe he's just coming from a place of looking for something serious. Michael saying, shout out to you. Good to see you. Klaus says, for mentally stable and serious women, go for the single moms and born-again virgins. Matt is right. Yeah, my ears perked up a little bit when I heard him say that, because I'm like, okay, my thought, I didn't say it out loud. So, okay, so they're out there then, huh? According to Matt, where are these women? And someone guessed probably where this video's going. I haven't watched it yet, so I don't know. Orem, good to see you. The best women are the kind that don't exist. Oh my gosh. It's always a pleasure to see you, Orem. Zachariah says, yeah, women's egos are off the roof. I'm telling you, man, I was mentioning this earlier. You probably heard me saying if you're just getting in the stream now, but there was a woman I went on a date with, and she was showing me her app, and it had 700 and something likes on it, and she was getting about like 17 the super likes or whatever. So it's like, just this woman existing on the apps is consuming about, like, if you say it's like what, $3 for one of these super likes, or whatever it costs now. Damn, I don't even remember. You know what I mean? It's like $51 are being spent on sending messages to this woman a day from guys. And then, like, not even a week later, sent me a screenshot, like a few days later, of like over 1,000 likes on the app. So, part of that gives the old ego boost there. It was very odd, very odd. But I guess, normal for a lot of women. So, Gamer says, not sure why a TikTok antidote is supposed to be a reliable source. All of my successful reproduction-wise relationships are off dating apps. All about aligning incentives and life goals. That is interesting, Gamer. I would be interested to hear how they kind of... Do you tell them basically like, yeah, I have, well, obviously I don't know how many women you have children with. You could be with the same woman and be having your 12th kid here. Or I can't remember your 8th kid. So, if it is with multiple women, like what is your method for explaining that? Like, well, yeah, I got about 8 kids with 3 other women. So, and they're like, oh, that's cool. I love kids. I'm going to be having my first kid with you, Gamer. Shout out to Gamer, man. What's the pitch look like? Just curious. Yeah, all about aligning incentives and life goals. I do agree with that. I do think that's important. Stay away from divorced women, says Michael saying. Single moms is just asking for trouble. Avalanche says, yo, Avalanche, welcome in, man. I'm having some trouble. I can't bring the chats big on screen, so we're kind of dealing with that. Thank you to the 16 people who hit the like button. I see we got 20 viewers. If the other 4 of you, I know the other 4 of you guys are just chilling. You got me on a screen on the other side of the room. You just like the sound of my voice. But if you don't mind just picking up the remote, just walking over there, getting the remote real quick and just hitting the like button, that helps take this stream to a different place, which is what we're trying to do. Or if you're watching on your phone, if you can just pick up your phone, look at it, swipe up, and just hit the like button manually, that's a big deal. That's a big deal. So thank you to the folks that did that. So yeah, Orem says, and a video game can be purchased for $30. Man, I've been having so much fun with video games lately. I've been playing Uncharted 1 on PS3. Then I'm playing Uncharted Golden Abyss on PlayStation Vita. Then I'm playing Elden Ring on Steam, which I'm actually streaming on Twitch, which is pretty cool. Man, yeah, it's been going hard with the games. And you know what? I'm loving every second of it. I'm proud of the games. I don't care what anybody says, you know, or tries to shame the gamers. They're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. I don't care what they say. Gamer says aligned incentives is the hardest problem. Start with someone and then the something. And then you can work back to how that something came to be and why that someone bought in. Okay, interesting stuff there from Gamer. Shout out Michael Sayan, Dan. Orem says $30 for hours of fun versus being ignored 10 times. I know where my money is going. Well, I mean, listen, and especially if, wow, we got 21 viewers and 21 likes. That's 100% like ratio there. Wow, shout out to you guys, man. Thank you for that. Yeah, I mean, listen, most people on apps, and myself included, like I've spent money on apps for like the super likes or something like that. Or, you know, like I don't really do the subscriptions. To be honest, Hinge has always been like the one that produced the most for me. And the reason is because you can just you can leave a comment. You could probably, I don't know how many you get of these a day, but it actually lets you send a message. So like if you say something that gets attention, it's tended to work for me. I think Hinge has always produced the most for me. Not like I'm sitting here getting a lot or something, but they've seemed to be the kindest when it comes to allowing you to do stuff on there. Tinder and Bumble, I think, are the worst. Well, Bumble's the worst. Tinder's still bad. Yeah. So more than likely, Orem, what I'm saying is you're gonna probably spend even more than $30 anyways. So $30 for a game that's not bad actually. Gamer says, yeah, they know how many kids I have. Currently 1 kid per woman. Right? Wow. Okay. So okay. So you're going for the baby mama. Yo, Orem. You know, I've mentioned those child support cases that have like, you know, 15. The fathers that have like, you know, 15 different baby mamas and multiple kids from some of them. Gamer has 8 kids with 8 baby mamas right now. So this man right here is very prolific in his own way. Very prolific. I have currently 1 kid per woman right now. Lots of them want siblings from me in the future. Can't share the secret sauce, but took a lot of thinking. All right, well, hey, shout out to you, Gamer. Okay. Looks like we have a chat in the chat. Klaus. Thank you, Brute Man. Appreciate you hitting that like button, man. Sorry, I just like hanging out with the chat sometimes. I know we got to get back to this. And we got other videos too. I mean, we're in it to win it tonight. Gamer says I started as a sex worker and evolved into a prolific man. Okay, that's interesting. So it sounds like you really got to understand about people's like sexuality and desires there. Maybe it just really helped you see something in a specific way. I don't know. Like, you know, I've not talked to, like, I don't know much about the experience from the male sex worker, but you tend to see more interviews and stuff online with female sex workers. But I can imagine that when you think about women in sex work, they could probably learn men very well. And that's why I think some of these like sugar babies and stuff on the JUCO side can be very dangerous women, actually. If you pay them, that's one thing, you know. But when they then go back into regular dating, they can be extremely deadly. Very good at getting a guy wrapped around, you know, their finger in that way. So that could be scary. Sounds like Gamer has the kind of opposite end of that equation going on for the other side. That sounds like an interesting story, Gamer. Maybe we can do an anonymous interview someday. You can have like a pixelated screen or even just the profile picture you have now, and you can have like a voice changer. You can have like a voice changer, and then, you know, it'd be like one of those Gangland interviews that they used to do. What was that, the History Channel? I can't remember where Gangland used to come on, and then they'd have the guy, and he'd be all blurry, and then they would like change his voice. Man, I wonder if I can change the voice on this. Nah, all I got is freaking echo and reverb. Damn it. More effects on smart pads. Oh, what the hell? I never mess with these. voice something, megaphone, monster, large. Yeah, like they'd probably change it.
Like they would change it like this.
There we go.
Or like this. Yeah, this is the one for gangland.
Wow, that's kind of scary. Damn, I didn't even know I can do this on my soundboard. This is crazy. If I hit this button right here.
Then all of a sudden I sound like this. There's a little bit of lag, which makes me talk slower.
Okay, that's too much. That's too much. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just going to hit one more just to see what the heck it does. We got a megaphone pitch.
We got pitch up. Okay, that's weird.
Oh, there's a sensor button here. Okay. No way, I had the whole time? That's great. Okay, all right, I'll stop, guys. I'll get back to what we were doing.
Your dowry, it's my right.
Yeah, so, interesting stuff there, gamer. Do you smoke cigars playing games? It would make a great AI photo. That would be really cool. I don't typically smoke inside, to be honest. But, you know, maybe someday. I don't really smoke in this room. Gamer says, like, the best place to sell expensive cars is where they don't look expensive, like a Rolls Royce. You sell them at places where folks are buying massive yachts or similar. I feel like there's something there, man. I feel like there's something there, but I'm not getting it. Tell the AI photo generator to do Shah. Yo, no, I have a request for the AI community, actually. Now that you guys are here, now that the gold pillars have assembled, this is what I want. I put this in the Discord earlier, and I said, can anyone try using AI to modify one of these images to make Wario look a little more like me and turn the gold coins into gold pills? Please keep him fat and stocky. Maybe just give him the same beard. Like, I don't know. For the last, like, couple of weeks, I keep remembering Wario and about his, like, greed for money, basically. And I'm like, this kind of fits in a little bit with the gold pill motif, like on a funny level. Not this level of greedy, but if you just give him a beard here and you keep like the rest of this and make him a little darker, I think we can pull this off. Like something about this appeals to me. And if anybody in the AI Forge wants to help me out with that request, I'd be much obliged. Much obliged, okay? Dang it, I don't even know where the heck my chat. Oh, there it is. Either Chad or future child support victim. Gamer is on the line right now. Listen, but the thing that we don't know is Gamer could be targeting women that all make more money for him. Like he could be going after it sounds like Gamer is going after professional women that might even make more money than Gamer does. Like he's going after nurses, he's going after pharmacists. He's going after women he's going after attorney women. I don't know. I'm really trying to talk you up here. Shout out to the 21 people that liked the video, and there's 24 people watching. If the other 3 of you can, hit that like button, just pick up your remote, hit up, then down, and then right, and then okay. That's going to take the stream places, so appreciate that support. Brute Man says, been spending my weekend reading an English translation of the Old Greek Septuagint. Hope I pronounced that right. And Robert Curzon's book on his diplomatic journey to the borders of Russia. Man, that sounds like a good time. Turkey and Persia during the 1840s. Okay, I like that, man. An English translation of the Old Greek Septuagint. Yeah. I can I have a book on Greek. I've unfortunately not done a good job of, spending more time for that, but I know there's a lot of controversy there in terms of translations and things like that. That's fun, man. That's fun. Going full K strategy there. That's right, y'all. Oh, damn it. Hey, if the stream dies, guys, just give me a second and I'll bring the stream back up. It died once earlier and I'm getting this yellow bar again. So we're probably going to fly through some turbulence here real quick, but I promise you, just stay on the URL and it'll be back. Okay. As such, viewers will the hell with it. That's right, y'all. I'm a nerd. This is from Brute Man. I love to geek out on this stuff. Better than chasing 21st century. You're honestly, man, you're right about that, dude. You're really right about that. It is better than doing that. Let me tell you something, man. After enough times, you'll be driving home. Listen, when you're finally driving home and you don't care to like call a buddy and be like, yeah, it went really well and this and that. That's when you're just like, I'm kind of over this whole thing. Paul Elam calls it the hedonism wall, which is a very real thing. Brew, I should totally read the Greek Septuagint. Great idea. People don't know the New Testament is full of quotes from there. Fun stuff. Orem says Machiavelli did a lot of research using prostitutes. Oh, did he now? That sounds very Machiavellian. I almost imagine him kind of using prostitutes to like make people fall in love for whatever his ends were, I kind of got kicked off of Effective Purpose today. You got banned from Effective Purpose, Michael. I feel like that maybe you might have did something not right there because Effective Purpose is a pretty good guy. I don't see why he would ban you. You got ogre and gnome functions. I absolutely can, but Discord doesn't like me. Gamer says, yeah, first I look at the purse. I make next to zero money. There we go, right now. Okay. That was my suspicion. And the reason that was my suspicion is because I've talked to enough guys like you at child support. And some of these women might even end up owing you child support, depending on how custody works out, But listen, man, maybe not. Listen, what's going to happen is if you have to pay them, they don't know this, but since you have all these other women and kids, if everybody goes after you for child support, each woman is only going to get like $60 per. Some of these people might even have like a $12 order per month because the calculator is going to have to divide whatever your income is amongst all these kids. And they're really going to have to use your real income there. So if you're making like normal guy money, it's going to take a lot of money away from you, but like nobody wins in this scenario. So it's like, I used to actually call this strategy going nuclear because it's like, what would happen is like one guy gets ran through the system and he's like, okay, F y'all. And he just starts impregnating as many women as possible. Then this one guy who was like pissed has like 7 other kids and they all want child support. So it's like, yeah, okay, the first woman that was getting, $900 a month is now getting $125 a month. And like, why is my child support going down? Because this guy is just impregnating woman after woman, and then they come into the office and they're like, huh? He has 8 other kids? I didn't know that. Oh, yeah, okay. Well, here it is, Oh, Dan put the image in Discord. All right. Dang it. Oh, man. Okay, this is a good start, Dan. This is a good start. But, like, I am hoping to preserve some of the, like just look at the impact of this, if it's possible to keep the sort of same animation style, like, I want the fat nose, bro. Like, it needs to look more like Wario than me. Like, he just needs to have a beard. He needs to be darker. You can even keep the same hairstyle, just give him a little bit of a beard, and just turn these into gold pills, if possible. I know that it, all this stuff requires things. So, yeah. So fun stuff there. I make literally all my money is from sex work. I'm still living. So if all your money is from sex work, listen, I'm gonna venture a guess here and guess that that's under the table. So it's like, I mean, unless you're like in the state where it happens to be legal, which really is like what, just Nevada in certain counties probably. So listen, I'm guessing it's under the table. So yeah, child support's never going to know about that. They will look at your work history though. Really depends on the state. So yeah, you're getting the under the, man, you kind of living life on the edge, gamer. I respect what you're doing there, but that is not the life for me, man. That's a little bit too close to the edge right there. I'm just a quiet man looking for a humble, hermetic life at this point. I do appreciate you sharing your story though, man. This is that is really something right there. Shah, have you been interviewed on any shows lately? How's the job going? Things are going well over there. I'm grateful to have it. You know, it takes a lot of bandwidth for me. I've had to learn a large program. But I'm doing well, and I'm solidly in the job now, which is nice. I do have a filming coming up for something. I don't want to say what it is because I don't know if I can. So there is something coming up there. So yes, there is something coming up. And there are a couple things in the works though. Thank you for that question, Michael. Getting women to pay you for dates is such a massively better experience than paying for dates. I went on a date with a girl off Hinge once, and she told me, oh my gosh, she wanted me to pay. Some of them will try to do that. Yeah, some of them will do that. Orem says, I've got your picture. Dang, man. Did you put it in the Discord, Orem? And if not, I mean, if you can't do that, you can always send it to me directly. However you want to do that, man, and I'll put it in the Discord, so no worries. Gamer Pearl did a video where she stated that it's not the 666 man that gets women turned on, but a man who's charming. 666 or any of the sixes are an additional plus. Any thoughts on that, Gamer? Gamer isn't living on the edge. He's living on the other side. Yeah, Gamer is living on the dark side of the moon. Like, he's so into the dark side. Man, he's on the darkest of dark side. This man is in like a black hole of darkness. I don't know what the hell. I mean, damn. You got it updated? Shah, big news from Michael Sayin. Reading professional literature and found out that women wanted the Married Women's Property Act for the sole purpose to protect the dowry. At the time, husbands were getting sued. Ooh, that's interesting, Michael. If you wouldn't mind emailing me a source on that, I'd love to read more about that. So that's a great insight there, Michael. I appreciate you digging that up. That's interesting. Now, typically, from what I've seen, when it came to lawsuits, at least in older times, they typically could not go after the woman's dowry because that was the wife's property. But I think in England specifically, maybe it would have been different. Typically, the husband did have usufruct of the dowry, meaning that they could use it and manage it, which is what, gave them a large incentive, basically. But that's it. I would love to read more about that, Michael. Big deal right there. That is big news. Orem said, Discord hates me. It now says I am in no groups. Yeah, what's the Discord group? If you click on the description of this video, Orem, you can see the invite. Here, I'll send you an invite right now. Dang it, I don't know if this is going to work. Oh, that's a lot better, Dan. That's a lot better. I just looked at this. I just looked at the server. Oh, damn it. Is this gonna work? Okay, I just put an invite. If it doesn't work, bro, just send it to me directly. All right, real quick. Let me just share this photo that Dan the Man just made. Yes, I'm liking this right here. This is exactly what I was talking about. This is really good. Listen, man. This one's really... if you could make a couple with long hair and a couple with the same beard and mustache, but a little bit shorter hair, that would also be like the regular Wario hair. This is really good. I really like what you did here, bro. That is very nice. That is very nice. Very, very cool. Let me just save that in pictures. I'm going to call that Wario 1 Dan the Man. Thank you for that. Really cool, man. Okay, we'll go ahead and get back to Matt Walsh. Oh, wait, hold on. Michael Sayin says something. Shah, correct. England, women were allowed to own land in the Middle Ages, and American women were not allowed to do that under coverture law. So the Married Women's Property Act was created to fix it. Okay, yeah, and that pretty much put their property into their names and made it theirs. I could not be explaining that all the way right, but interesting. Yeah, to that's pivotal right there, Michael. If you don't mind emailing me where you read that, or at least a link to it or something, I would really appreciate that. Gamer says I am 6'6". Okay, well that helps. Shout out to the 6'6" folks out there. Fronting 6 figures, just lie to women. Oh gosh, Gamer. Gamer is on the darkest side of the dark side. He's on the darkest triad of the, oh my God. Just lie to women and 6-inch plus, but is the least important. Only gay men care about your D size. See, now that's a unique perspective in the space. That's a unique one. Height can help, but it's mostly about strategic time investment. Michael says, but the big news, Shah, is the very act they wanted to protect their dowries. They found out after the act there was no longer any need for the dowry. Man, Michael, I feel like this is something that's very interesting here and pivotal. And then this created a huge culture shift that probably spread everywhere else. Because by the time they put because basically it's like the dowry was invested into the marriage. But after the law passed, regardless of if they were married, the dowry was in the wife's hand, legally speaking, and the husband had no control over it, which defeats the purpose of the dowry, by the way, because the man is supposed to have management of her dowry. But if they get divorced, or annulment or something, then she would leave with the full amount of her dowry. So he'd have to figure out how to get that dowry back to her and would be on the line for that. So what you're saying is it was almost by accident. It's like they did this, and then when they passed the law, there were these unforeseen consequences, and then the women figured out they figured out how to just, dip out basically. So it created a loophole, and it just changed the whole game. I don't know. Well, I want to look into it further, Michael, please. So dowry went away in America due directly to the Married Women's Property Act. The act that was created to protect the dowry became the very reason the dowry went away. I will look into that further too. I have, heard about that because that's typically when it's cited when the laws changed, at least especially for England. But the way that you're describing it sounds really interesting. Gamer is out here selling dreams so good these women don't want to wake up. I mean, Gamer is basically doing dark triad stuff right here. They're going to wake up when they go to the child support office and they realize they're only going to get $62 a month from Gamer, if that. And then Gamer's like, all right, you want to play hardball, and just blocks them or something. Then they're going to realize, the level of gaming. What I thought Gamer's username was there because he plays video games. I didn't realize he was playing a whole different kind of game. Right. Michael Sain says, the Married Women Properties Act allowed her to work, cash checks, and made the coverture law become dismantled. Totally unexpected side effect. Yeah, that's a very interesting angle there, Michael. I really, really like that. Really, really cool, man. So, yeah. Yeah, hold I mean, I think that's a great thing there. If you don't mind sending me where you saw that, I would love to read the whatever, source was on that. It would make sense though. If I could find primary sources on that, I think that would be like a big deal. I think it is now, just what you're saying. So dowry disappeared basically overnight because people were in there and they didn't know what they were doing, and they made some laws, and it's in a way, it seems like as pivotal as no-fault divorce legislation, right? It's like people are like, okay, no-fault divorce, let's go and help the courts out so they're not so congested with all these divorces. And then bam, no-fault divorce does what no-fault divorce does. Oh, gosh. Yeah, so I'm going to get back to this for the folks. Shout out to the folks who hit the like button. We got 22 likes. That's so amazing. Okay, so here's this guy.
And there was one in specific I even said,
this guy needs to talk to Gamer.
Yo, you can say thank you instead of as you should. And she goes, ew, that's giving demanding. And I go, no, it's just common human respect and manners to say thank you when somebody does something.
You can go on TikTok, search for videos about dating apps, and you'll find thousands of videos like this one. Here's another.
The longer I've had dating apps, the more I realize how pointless they are. I've had dating apps.
Gamer says, I don't really focus on dark triad. I'm more into just taking notes on what they say and remembering things that matter to them and staying in contact with all them. Need a CRM for this. You got a whole active campaign, or what's the other one called? Chimp something, where it's you got all the emails and it sends all the emails out. But lying to women is based. If I were in another country, I'd give them a fake name too. Oh my God, gamer. I don't think, you know, that I don't know. I would feel bad about lying, you know what I mean? So I just, you know, I couldn't recommend that to folks, but I mean, listen, man, they went ahead and screwed up all the laws and they made it so men like you can take advantage of the field. So you're just doing what they're letting you do out there. Zachariah says dowry disappeared because women can work. They still a burden. Oh, well, that's pretty much it. I mean, it was kind of like trading coming in with the dowry in terms of coming in with income because they looked at income as equivalent to dowry. Gamer says, man, it's like I have 30 girlfriends now. Michael says the reason the Married Women's Property Act making the dowry disappear because women already had the right to have property under their own names, and the dowry was still practiced in England many years. Okay, so we'll go move in for that. Thank you, Michael.
For a long time, right? Like I've been out of a relationship for a while, and you finally give in to that, like, okay, I'll download Hinge or I'll download Tinder, and you know,
all right, let's see what happens. Maybe I'll meet somebody cool.
I have over 100 matches on both, whatever. But it never leads to anything. It's like, oh, I have this person's attention for 25 seconds or 20 minutes, and then they ghost you. That's happened to me plenty of times, and I've probably been a victim. I've probably done that myself to the girl. I just don't think there's a point in dating apps. Like, I feel like you scroll through a dating app and you're like, oh, that person's attractive, but you don't think like you're not going to get with someone that you think is attractive, but not 10 out of 10, but you'll probably swipe on them. I just feel like dating apps are so pointless now. Like I used to get on dating apps.
So the other end of dating apps then is going to be, there's going to be more community involvement there. You know, and it's like there's more expectations and how you're going to carry yourself. Like, are you just going to be able to ghost that person? Probably not. So it's almost like, okay, the other side, the opposite of this whole dating app culture is something that's probably more community oriented.
Apps, and I used to be like, all right, I want to find someone and I want to go on a date and I want to do something with them. Now I don't even have the motivation to go on them anymore.
No worries, Michael. Yeah, I understand how something like that can be definitely a surprise. Klaus says, gamer dude, I'm way too lazy to even try to pull off a lifestyle like that. How in the world do you have the energy to deal with them all the time? I would be so stressed out. I mean, listen, man, like, yeah, it seems like you're very good at convincing them not to like come after you for stuff. They're probably all in love with you. But yeah, I mean, for me, I'm with Klaus on this. It would be a lot, and it would be a lot, you know. But shout out to you, man. You're a hardworking guy out here, at least in this way. Brute Man says, gamer is living on the dark side of the moon. Oh, yeah. Those astronauts that went on the other side of the moon, they saw gamer over there. That's what it was. It wasn't aliens there. It was gamer. It could be aliens, though. Honest, 30 girlfriends. That's insane. Just tells you how trashy and messed up modern society is due to modern day 304s. I just want peace of mind and to read books. Brute Man, I'm right there with you, bro. I really am, man. I mean, a bunch of books right here and there, and I'm happy enough with that, man. If I'm lucky, if I'm really blessed, I'll be able to write something that's decent, you know. Gamer says, honestly, if the goal is LTR relationship, I just go to uni classes, regularly meet the same people IRL. You don't even have to pay tuition, just walk on campus. Hi, I'm new and trying to make friends. Are you from Europe by chance? I feel like only Europeans say uni. Did you move over here? Dan the Man says, ChatGPT won't let me make the changes because it was too offensive. What? I mean, what you made, Dan, was legit, though. I'm happy with what you made.
It's the same cycle. Match, get ghosted. Match, ghost. Match, get their phone number, get ghosted.
Okay, so I mean, well, so I thought, so he's barely making it past the first date. Then I thought he said he was getting like hundreds.
Seeing these videos, you might respond by saying, "Well,
yo, Heroes Forge, welcome in, man."
People who had bad experiences will be the most vocal. That's usually how it goes. If somebody manages to find a great match on one of these services and then get married, they probably aren't going to spend a lot of time doing positive testimonials on TikTok or anything like that. I know I really didn't. TikTok didn't exist at the time, but still, on the other hand, if someone is lonely and constantly striking out and going on dates with horrible women, then there's a good chance he'll make a video about it, and many other frustrated people will upvote those videos.
I'm sorry, guys. I got to share this. Yo, Aura, man, you did a great job. Yes, this is what I wanted. Look at this, man. Yeah, see, we got Dan the Man. I like Dan the Man's turned out really nice right here. Like, when I see this image, I think of this.
Your dowry, it's my right.
That's too good. Oh, that's too good. Oh, man. This one's too lifelike. I like the cartoony ones. This one's pretty good.
Which one of these broads has the richest father?
Oh my God.
Which one of these?
Oh, dude. Yeah, that's too good. That's too good. Orem, I love that. That's beautiful. I'm going to go ahead and save that. We're going to save that as Wario Caltrop 1. Thank you. Wow, that is so cool. I'm just saving these. Just, maybe we can. I know this will come in handy. Oh, pictures, Wario, Caltrop 1, 2. Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you for that. Thank you for that, man. That was good. That was good.
Therefore, you might conclude.
Now I know why Gamer's not working right now. It's like, that is your job, man. You were sitting here balancing 30 women.
We can't draw any conclusions from these kinds of social media videos, you might conclude. But if that's your response, you're ignoring the fact that there are many, many other signals all over social media.
Indian
this problem
Wario.
is indeed real, and not just on social media. Talk to anyone. Talk to almost anyone who uses dating apps these days, especially young men. You hear the same story from almost everyone. It's like unanimous. And it's a bigger problem than just dating apps are bad.
I don't know. It's almost like he's saying arranged marriages are good. Like, that's going to be the way other side of this. Do we need to bring back the dowry ethos? I was talking to Peter Wright, and he had this lightning bolt moment. But basically, he really likes the term dowry ethos, and I do too. It's like a very a lot of times, we get this pushback, oh, the dowry's not coming back, or it's not coming back. And it's like, yeah, fine, but we could still have the dowry ethos. So it's almost like a different way of kind of, it just communicates a lot of ideas with that term and that phrasing. So I just wanted to mention that to you guys while we got 22 people in here. Dowry ethos is a term that we like. And shout out to Peter right there. Titan Struggle. Hey, good to see you, man. First Shah live stream from Thailand. All right, man. Man, I hope you have some mango sticky rice and some Thai garlic steak out there, man. That sounds... Oh, man, I haven't had Thai food in so long. Man, I might have to go get Thai food tomorrow. I've been on a freaking food kick lately. First Shah live stream from Thailand. Also, great video with It's Complicated channel and Paul Elmo. I'm glad you enjoyed that, man. Thank you for that, man. That means a lot. Titan Struggle says we need national legalization of prostitution, and this will incentivize bringing back a dowry and arranged marriage. Okay, so you really appreciated It's Complicated's talking points there. I'm glad you really liked it, man. And, hey, maybe that has a part to play in this whole scenario, Gamer says, no, not from Europe. Just think about where you can meet women your age regularly IRL. Online relationships are ephemeral, but I meet most of my girls online, so I can't say it doesn't work. Yeah, I think that's why people stick with meeting in IRL is something that does happen still, but most people just have probably both IRL and they got their dating apps and stuff. Okay.
Or women are insufferable now. The larger issue is that, as we've discussed many times on the show, it's become extremely difficult for young men to own a home or to earn a living.
Okay. Well, Matt is like right there. He's about to say this.
Your dowry, it's my right.
Yeah, extremely difficult for young men to earn a home. Extremely difficult. Okay, Matt. Oh, I want to hear Matt say that again, actually. I think he's almost there. Is Matt becoming gold-pilled?
Many times on the show, it's become extremely difficult for young men to own a home or to earn a living through hard work alone. The market it is a lot more competitive thanks to the tens of millions of foreigners who now live in the United States.
Okay, blame the foreigners. Okay.
Artificial intelligence is eliminating entire career paths from customer service jobs to computer programming and lots of things in between.
Okay, so we're getting to over here.
Which one of these broads has the richest father?
We're getting to this?
There was a dowry or a bride price.
Okay, keep going, Matt.
We printed so much money during COVID that inflation remains a drag on the economy. So financially speaking, a lot of young men are not doing well. And then to compound the problem, dating apps decide to raise their subscription fees to ridiculous amounts.
Hey, wait a minute. He didn't say anything about the dowry. What?
Way of signaling to women that they're going to meet a provider if they interact with paying members instead of someone who's struggling financially. They've completely erased the OkCupid model.
Yeah, see, Matt, like, he went and he danced right up next to the fence there, but he just didn't even realize that there were bushes he can pull away and that there was a chain link fence that he could just cut, you know, each one of those things and make it out. He almost made it out there, but, you know, maybe next time, huh? Shout out to him. Maybe next time. They came looking for him. They got Matt Walsh back.
Where you didn't have to pay a fee. And therefore, a lot of young men are simply giving up on dating and everything else. And on top of that, also, we should note that one of the major problems with these dating apps, especially the way they are now, without the questionnaire, like the way they used to be, and it's all in an app, and it's all visual. And so you have women that are making determinations on who they're going to date, just looking at a picture very briefly for like a second and then scrolling past it. And that is totally unnatural. You know, the dating market has never worked that way in the history of humanity up until...
Oh, the history of humanity. Okay, so you want to talk about the history of humanity.
There was a dowry or a bride price.
Matt Walsh is always the guy that's just like, oh, hundreds of years. And, you know, the man provided and this and that. And this is how it was for thousands of years. But, like, there's no mention of this.
There was a dowry or a bride price.
But shout out to Matt. You know, maybe he's coming around, you know. Govin says, Matt just explaining but not giving solutions. Yeah, okay, well, we got about 7 minutes left in here, so we'll see what he says. It's just interesting that he acknowledges that it's hard to, you know, it's hard for the young men to get houses. Yeah, of course. And then you want young people getting married, right, Matt? You want young people getting married and having kids and taking advantage of those, you know, fertility years there. How did society deal with this before? Because he did talk about dating in most of history, so it's almost like he would know how society dealt with this. And about how women would come with their, you know, pre-mortem inheritance and set up the household and then get the guy, give the young man a boost here, and then he'd grow into being a provider. Meanwhile, they're having kids. But you know, he didn't seem to indicate that.
Now, women are not primarily visual. And so usually, for thousands of years, if you were a man and you wanted to attract a woman, you know, being physically attractive would help. That was one thing that you could use to try to attract a woman. But even if you weren't very physically attractive, well, you were meeting women in the real world. And so things like your personality could come into play.
Maybe, but listen, like there was matchmakers. They were looking at this way differently. You know, there was actual matchmaking going on. The matchmaker knew the situations of both people. They would suggest these two seem like a decent match, have them meet, you know, and then maybe some of the stuff Matt's talking about could come into play. Like, you know, hopefully there's not a huge faux pas or something. But okay. All right, Matt. Michael says Married Woman's Property Act, 1870, 1882, Britain, to inherit property while protecting the wife's personal belongings and inheritance from irresponsible husbands. Yeah, see that right there pretty much hurt marriage badly when that happened. The act also, it was in the name of protecting her dowry, but it destroyed one of the purposes of the dowry, which was the man's management of it. So it took away his ability to manage the dowry, and then it really just destroyed the whole purpose behind it then. And then after that, women took that to the bank, basically. And then they're like, well, it's my property anyways. It's my dowry. Why do you care how much of a dowry I have? You should just love me. So, Michael, it's like that combined with romantic chivalry, which was also becoming popular, probably really like put some nails in this coffin. Titan Struggle says Matt Walsh is one of the overseers of the gynocracy, happy life, happy wife buffoons. Yeah, I mean, you know, I can't argue with you. There. Kentucky made it a law that child custody is 50-50 by default, and divorce filing dropped by 25% throughout the whole state. Yeah, they have a presumption now of 50-50 custody, or a rebuttable presumption, I believe. Klaus says game is a perfect case study how the Chads operate and why they are successful. Well, yeah, I mean, we destroyed the other way of doing things so well that it creates an environment for gamer strategy to do what he's doing. So, hey, man, he's just playing the game here.
Very quickly, if you meet someone and you're able to talk to them and be conversational and you're funny, all that you get a chance to sort of use those skills and use those facets of your personality to attract a mate.
And it does sound like he's kind of, it's I don't know, it seems a little gynocentric how he's talking about it, but whatever.
Now, men aren't able to do that, and so women are making these determinations in what's a really unnatural way for women, and that it's entirely visual. And men
I don't know if he actually. It does feel a little bit like he's kind of making things up as he goes along right now. It's just, I don't know. This part right here feels a little shaky to me. I'm just gonna say.
You have to hope that you have a good profile picture, which is just never the way that it works. So the deck's stacked against you. And this is one of the reasons that
I think he's just kind of showing that he hasn't had much experience on these apps. Shout out to the 29 people watching me. We got 24 likes right now. If the other 5 people that are watching, if you actually want to support the channel, please pick up your remote and just go ahead and hit down on that thing and then to the right and then hit the OK button and just put the like on it. Or if you're watching from your phone or your iPad, just hit the like. That would really help me. It will help get this stream going. So thanks for being here. Klaus says, I would never lie to women and I would never try to be something I'm not. That's not how I move. If I have to lie to a woman to be with her, I'm already done and lose interest. Yeah, I think it's just I'm the same way, Klaus. It's just not something that would be very tough for me to do. Like it would bother me, actually. Like it would just, I'd be sleeping at night, and be like, I feel bad about this. And it would just bother me. So, it'd be tough. Michael Sand says the Married Women's Property Act inheritance laws like Hindu Succession Act aim to provide women with legal autonomy over assets, thereby making the economic justification for dowry obsolete. Interesting. Yeah, I'll be looking for your email, Michael, because I'd love to read some of that. So fun stuff, man. Gamer says, I love that all my kids will have all the entitlements from the government for single mothers. Man, it's crazy, dude. I've been looking into the child support stuff and the way the program has evolved from its original purpose. The original purpose of child support was to get guys like Gamer, people who don't really have earnings on the books, and to reel them in. They have transformed the child support program so much that it literally almost gives guys like Gamer a bit of an out, and it only screws the guys in like the middle to upper classes. It's really weird what they did. But yeah, I mean, that's a discussion for another time. Orem says at the same time, one dude came back from spring break testing positive for every STD they tested for. I'm almost impressed. No way, bro. That's no way, Orem. That's too much, man. That's too much. I don't believe that. I mean, how many STDs would that be? I mean, that'd be like, what, 4 or 5 at least? Maybe 6? That guy's immune system must have I don't know what the hell happened to that. That's just crazy, man. Oh my God. Gamer says, I have a very high bar for marriage. She has to have at least 6 to 7 fig job.
Your dowry, it's my right.
Shout out to you there. Yeah, never lie. Zachariah. Michael says, Shah, just wanted to give you some proof real quick, not just my personal opinion. I believe me, I appreciate that, man. I love seeing the sources, man. I do. And I believe you. I just can't pull it up right now, but it's something I would definitely love to read. To be fair, it was only 8 STDs. I don't know, man. I'm going to have to see this story. I'm sorry. You know what? Okay, we're going to get back to Matt Walsh. He hasn't gotten to the solution part of it yet, but we still got a few minutes. Let me see this. Did a guy who came back from spring break really test positive for all STDs. I mean, he must have had some before. Okay. Oh, I mean, listen, man, this is at least what AI overview is saying. It's saying the story about a man testing positive for every STD after spring break in Houston is a viral social media claim rather than a confirmed documented medical news report. Okay, so we don't know for sure. It sounds a little out there, man. While it has been widely circulated on platforms like TikTok and Facebook as of March, it also stems from misinterpreted, exaggerated, or outright false. Okay, so we don't know exactly, Orem. Dude posted it on TikTok, I guess. Okay, no worries. All right, let's go ahead and get back to Matt Walsh. Mike Sain says, so I was right. The government played a part in making the dowry disappear. It played such a pivotal part in history, then it just disappeared. It's very weird how that happened, Michael. Like, it's like suddenly it's just like that. But literally for thousands of years, it was there. You know what I mean? So it's like all of a sudden they just take that out. Yo, Atmosphere, shout out to you, brother. Says nasty with the G. Oh my gosh, yeah. A part of me almost wonders if some who made this act had that intended purpose. The Married Women's Property Act was created the same year of the famous women's suffrage meeting, 1848, Seneca Falls. Ooh, I mean, I wouldn't be. There's definitely some digging and excavating to do there, Michael. Yeah, Gamer says, I'm in Houston and I believe it. Houston has one of the highest rates of HIV in the nation. Wow. You know what? Let me just look that up and see what cities in the U.S. rank the highest for that. That's probably something for folks to know. Listen, I made that video on the Matador lifestyle. Like, this is one of the things I mean when I discuss Matador stuff. Like, if you're out there being the Matador, protect yourself at all times. Which cities in the USA have the highest occurrence of HIV? So let's see here. Based on a recent CDC data, so Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Atlanta, and Baton Rouge. New York City and Washington, D.C. also have very high numbers. It's interesting that, like, this is Florida, this is Georgia. Is Baton Rouge, Louisiana? I mean, they're not that far away from each other. I'm not seeing Houston, though. I'll have to find a better source. All right, we'll get back to Michael. So funny that the Houston government is practically sponsoring PrEP orgy, sponsoring that. ATL and Houston are the usual suspects. All right, moving in.
The streamer known as Asmongold, so the deck's stacked against you. And this is one of the reasons that the streamer known as Asmongold is so popular. He's easily one of the most popular streamers on YouTube right now. And I'll admit that I don't follow his content on a regular basis, which is a mixture of political commentary and gaming. From what I've seen, he's good at what he does, but I do know that by his own admission, one of the reasons for Asmongold's popularity is that he represents a tremendous number of young people in the country. He talks about issues they care about, and he does it without being pretentious or fake or condescending. Watch.
Men are slowly giving up and nobody cares. That's not true.
Asmongold is someone I haven't really watched. I've always seen kind of things over the years. But let's see.
True. I gave up super fast. As soon as I realized I needed to have a job, I gave up. Yeah, 7 years old, I was like, I'm just not going to make it, guys. Sorry.
Increasingly, more and more men are giving up. Giving up on relationships, careers, and society as a whole. Resentment is growing.
This is why my stream is getting popular, by the way.
Unemployment is becoming rampant.
Yeah.
And keeping your head above water seems almost impossible for many men today.
Yeah.
This is leading to more men than ever.
Hey, that's because we were deprived of our rights, gentlemen.
Your dowry, it's my right.
I like Asmongold. He was down to earth. I mean, I remember him being big on Twitch back then. I just never really, at a certain point, like, I just never really watched his stuff. I've seen some of his clips. To be honest, Raymond Thoughts in Mind is kind of my, he's the Asmongold I prefer to watch. He's like my version of Asmongold. Raymond Thoughts in Mind. There can only be one.
Okay. Dropping out of society entirely. And it's not just that. Men are becoming infantilized, with terms like adulting now becoming normal.
3 stages of adulting for men. I think it's that people have been divorced from being able to hope for anything better than what they already have. That's the real reason. Like, you see this all the time, like, because it's true that working hard will make you, like, working hard will increase the probability that you will be successful. But I think that, like, the reason why video games are so popular and so many young guys like video games is because video games provide a guarantee that if you grind and you work hard at something, you'll see a result. Whereas in real life, a lot of times that doesn't happen.
I mean, I don't know if it's this guarantee or a result. I think it's just people like to do it because it gives them something to occupy their time, and there is a certain feedback reward loop there. I think you could play enough video games though where you do feel a little like if the rest of your life isn't going well, then for me it would be tough to enjoy video games. I stopped playing video games for a while because it was like I just how could I do that? And then when things, got a little bit more stable and better, then it's like, okay, maybe I still didn't play video games, but then streaming got me into video games. And then I stopped playing video games again for a long time. And then the retro stuff got me into video games. And even still, it's hard for me to sit down and play video games, but I try to every now and then. And I'm getting more into it again, so I don't know if it's about this sense of accomplishment that you feel. I don't really think you feel that, but they're fun. They're certainly fun, So yeah, but yeah, whatever.
It's actually like, that's why.
The other side of me is like, who am I to doubt the gamer with 30,000 views that spends, or live viewers that, spends probably years playing video games. So I'm just probably not as much of a gamer as him to begin with.
Young men are drawn to video games a lot. It's because they're an equal playing field in a way that nothing else in the world really provides them.
I don't know. I can't agree with what he's saying all the way.
I was obviously right about that, particularly for white people. The deck is, again, stacked against you by DEI, affirmative action, equity, and so on. The economy is doing well overall in terms of GDP in the markets, but for competent men who are entering the workforce for the first time, the economy has never been more brutal.
Okay, yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, we're not living in the blip of the 1950s, but what did they do before that when the economy was also brutal? What humans before us had to deal with some conditions. You know what they did?
Which one of these broads has the richest father?
You know what they did when they had a tough economy? They did this.
There was a dowry or a bride price.
So, I mean, he keeps talking about marriage and relations going back thousands of years, but he missed this part. How did you miss this part? You know what I mean?
Now the dating apps, which now make all their money through subscriptions instead of advertisements, are focusing on established, wealthier users. They're leaving the young men behind, like every other institution in the country. That doesn't mean that young men don't have places to find young women. For one thing, a lot of people are meeting via Instagram or TikTok now, better or worse. They're seeing videos from people they like and sending them a message. But there's another much better way to find a date, and it's becoming a lot more popular.
I think somebody mentioned that he was probably going to go towards the church, and I can't remember who mentioned that, but if he does, then you were right as far as the video goes.
This is from a recent article in the Washington Post, of all places. Quote, why Catholicism is drawing in young Gen Z men. Young men in their 20s and 30s are increasingly...
Okay, whoever said that way at the beginning of the video, I just want to give you your flowers because, yes, you did call it. I can't remember who that was. That might have been Luke or Yellow Pill or whoever it was. Real quick, I just wanted to read Michael sayings. It seems women would want the dowry. It made it possible for women to buy their way into a higher class. Yeah, but I think what happened is they realized they can do the romantic chivalry game to some extent too. It ensured they would be able to marry without the dowry. Women have no control over marriage. Today, women don't save for marriage. They come penniless, then complain no one wants to marry them. Yeah, very true. That's the problem. TradCon really think history started in the 50s. Heroes Ford says, I mean, for thousands of years, there were age gaps in relationships too. Yeah. I mean, I don't think it would have been as looked at as they do now. Gamer says, young women prefer older men. This is why young men need to meet young women IRL if they want an LTR. Klaus, oh, it was Klaus who, yeah, of course it was Klaus. I should have known that. I'm sorry, Klaus. Klaus, shout out to you, bro. You knew it. Michael says there's no reason women can't save for marriage today. Exactly. Very true, Michael. They don't need cultural acceptance. They don't need tradition. They can make a chest and start at an early age. Make it fun, something to do. Yeah, I mean, very much so. And I do believe that would give them an edge, too, in the marriage market. Klaus says it's always the same with Matt Walsh. Like, all right. Okay, you know.
Drawn to the Catholic Church as they seek truth, beauty, and yes, girlfriends. Parishes in Catholic strongholds like New York, Washington, and Chicago have all anecdotally reported renewed interest from young men, young people, particularly young men. The 6 p.m. Sunday Mass at St. Joseph's has become a hub for New York City's young Catholics. It's pews full of young women wearing sweater sets and silver cross necklaces, and young men with biceps straining against sleeves of their polo shirts. A huge selling point is finding a potential partner, said Anthony Gross, though he was rolling solo. The joke is that St. Joe's is the ultimate place to date Catholics in New York because it's all the young, beautiful people that go there, said one parishioner.
All the young, beautiful people that go there. Okay.
Now, this trend continues and young people start meeting in church again instead of dating apps that are designed to get them addicted and waste their money and make sure they don't have success. Then without a doubt, it will be a massive net positive for civilization. Even if the dating apps hadn't become complete garbage, this would still be the ideal outcome.
Govin Zachariah says Catholics don't believe in divorce, correct? Yeah, I don't, from my understanding, no. I mean, they can issue annulments. And even now, you know, I think Catholics, like, you can get a civil divorce from, like, in the secular courts, but it's still an issue for them if you didn't get an annulment. What I did read is that they made getting annulments easier than it used to be. I guess it probably depends for, you know, some of the different churches there. Matt Walsh is from Michael. Matt Walsh and TradCons always have the same message. They start off saying how tough it is for men today, how bad women are, then always end blaming the men in the church for everything. Yeah, I mean, it seems like the answer, it's just kind of nudging, like, okay, be more religious. You know what I mean? But I'm sorry, like, it's just more than the religion. The religion is, I think, an important aspect, and then there's this practical aspect. I mean, families figured out the practical aspect first, then they went to the church to get it, I don't know what the word is, solemnized or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Then they would get it taken care of at the church. It was like, first address the practical matter.
There was a dowry or a bride price.
Then they'd, you know, go have that ceremony there and get it, you know, I don't know if sanctified's the right word. It's probably not, but you know what I mean. That came second. Yeah, just attend a Catholic church and check if women are allowed to speak. Everything wrong with dating and marriage today. It's like, what just hit me? Okay, moving in.
If you spend your time at church trying to find a girlfriend, you strike out, then, well, you're also at church. There's a huge benefit, huge spiritual benefit to that. And you're outside of your house as well. At least you've been around other people listening to scripture instead of scrolling on your phone in a dark room and occasionally, you know, charging your credit card. I know that may sound hypocritical coming from someone who met his wife on a dating site. So to be clear, I'm not saying that
earlier in the video he said it was eHarmony.
No one should ever use a dating app, even the terrible ones that exist today. But I am saying that the apps are not remotely similar to what existed even 10 or 15 years ago. They are now targeting a very different audience. And if you balk at the fact that they're constantly raising their prices, then you're not part of that audience. That doesn't mean you need to give up, but it does mean that you should take some notes from those Catholics at St. Joseph's and put the phone down. That's what every young man and woman did throughout all of history. And there were no phones to put down.
I mean, all of history, you know, don't forget this part.
There was a dowry or a bride price.
But, all right, you know, okay.
They met out in the real world until about 15 seconds ago.
He also neglected to mention, you know, arranged marriages and, you know, classic matchmakers and this kind of thing.
And if the dating apps are telling us anything, it's that it's time for millions of young people to revisit that approach once again.
Gamer says, for it is shame/pity for women to speak in the church. 1 Corinthians 14:34-35. Okay, so that was our Matt Walsh video. So let's go ahead and see what the comments say. Everything is a scam now. I mean, I can see why that person would say that. It certainly feels that way sometimes. The lifetime membership is a dead giveaway that these apps are not helpful. Man, that's interesting. So some of the apps have a lifetime membership. Yeah, that doesn't bode well. You'd be on here for life, man. If your dating app thinks there are 20 genders, cough Tinder, delete it. I'm 42 and I haven't dated in 6 years simply because of this culture. Met my wife in 2005 on Plenty of Fish. It was free back then and had not been taken over by trolls, fake accounts yet. We will celebrate 21 years together in September. Okay. Dating apps use the same psychology as slot machines. Dating apps are a scam. Get rid of them. They certainly are. The apps are full of fake profiles and scammers. That's the biggest problem. You know, that's true. There are a lot of like just fake stuff on there, bots. And I think that might even be designed to get guys to open their wallet and then like super like a fake profile. So you got to like learn how to figure that out. Michael says, did you know Christians never got married in the church in all of history? It wasn't until the 8th century. People would marry at the steps of the church. Then 11th century church marriage mandatory. Interesting. I did read something about that. I remember seeing stuff about that and kind of how that, you know, sort of made its way in. Church never had jurisdiction over marriage. It wasn't until 1,000 years ago marriage was always through the state. That would make sense too because there's property and stuff involved. These people, says Titan Struggle, keep force feeding everyone in the church, but the church is there when dudes are getting destroyed, or the church isn't there when dudes are getting destroyed in divorce court and raped by child support. I fully support men talk with their wallets. I hear you on that. Heroes Ford says, looks like he's only willing to go back to 1800, not before the romantic model took over. That's what it seems like. Would be bad for his female audience. It's just odd. He keeps saying thousands of years. Say hundreds then, or, you know, say decades. When you say thousands of years, you got to understand you're walking into different territory. More government, more destruction, says Zechariah. The only reason people got married in the church in the 12th century, sorry, not 11th, no worries. Thank you for that correction, was because the Catholic Church said marriage is a sacrament, and at that point, divorce was never allowed. Gamer says the church is feminist nowadays. Okay, let me just read a couple more comments, guys, and then I'll put up, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put up a poll right now just to see which video we should do next. And I'm just going to showcase the videos real quick. So I kind of wanted to watch this one because I haven't really seen what happened to him for a while. So this came out a day ago, and it's about Akash. You guys remember his story? His wife was saying all this stuff, and he was on a pretty big podcast, and basically everybody called him out. So I'm going to enter that in as our first option. Akash Singh update video. And then I'm going to go, this one, I can't even tell you if this is good. I tried to click through it, but it said why your father's marriage lasted 40 years and yours didn't. Father's marriage lasted 40 years. Okay, add option. Then we got, I might save this Paul Elam one. I kind of wanted to do this one. It's just a little longer video. I think I probably got about enough in me for like another 15 minute. Okay, then we can do clavicular from Dr. Grande. Okay. Was there another one on there? Oh, crap. Damn it. Sorry to cuss, guys. I kind of wanted to watch this one, but to be honest, I might save this for next week. And it's a psychologist looking at Myron's book. So it seemed pretty interesting. That came out 3 days ago. This could be more like nails on chalkboard. I think we should just save that. So I'm going to start the poll, and then I'm going to read some comments. And then we might look at some Instagram brain rot, and then we'll go to the next one. Avalon says, by all means, let's check Akash. We need to see if the man's okay. That's what I'm saying. Like, I hadn't heard anything for a while, and somebody did this whole video, and it seemed pretty comprehensive, man. So I think that would be a chiller video to end the stream on. I mean, we're at like 2 hours, 20 minutes. So the Akash one might be kind of chill. Some of these other ones almost seem like they deserve full-on streams on their own, which is the only thing. So yeah. Anyways, everything is a scam today. It's crazy. It's nuts. I feel sorry for this generation. I really do. Man, upvote to this gentleman. Ruth says scams, microtransactions, pay to play, walled gardens, fake profiles. Yeah. 2012 was the last time dating apps worked for the average guy. That was about the time they were made, right? I am in my 50s. Online dating is like shopping on the clearance rack. Nothing but XXX and damaged goods. I was half paying attention to the video while eating, but I think you forgot to mention that the women on the apps are mostly single moms. Well, there's that. I remember there being a report that came out a few years back revealing that Tinder charges differently based on your ethnicity orientation. Oh, that's interesting. So for those wanting to pay for the monthly subscription or super likes, people of color and gay/lesbians would get charged the least, while the features were more expensive for the white and straight users. Abhorrent. That's interesting. Real quick, gentlemen, I'm just going to take a leak. I'll be right back.
Yeah. She coming with nothing. Yeah. Deadbeat vibes. Let's go. Deadbeat woman, no bag, no dowry. Think she the table, but she just a story. Bringing no bread, but she want the glory. Deadbeat woman, drama queen, no quarry. Roll up, no fun, she just got a vibe. Claim she the queen, but her wallet's bone dry. Want the whole plate, but can't carry a load. Talking about love, but she breaking the code. I'm stacking my paper, she stacking the stress. Bringing no cash, but she want the finesse. Think she the boss, but she causing a mess. Weight on my back, and she more than my ex. Deadbeat woman, no bag, no dowry. Think she the table, but she just a story. Bringing no bread, but she want the glory. Deadbeat woman, drama queen, no glory. 808 quake, yeah, my bankroll thick. She show up empty, trying to pull a quick trick. Say she hold it down, but it's all cap. Emotional baggage, yeah, she got a full pack. I'm dodging like chaos, she stirring the pot. Claiming the workload, but she giving me squat. No coins in the purse, but she talking so loud. Deadbeat vibe, she ain't drawing no crowd. She pull up, no hustle, just running the lips. Expecting the throne, but she sinking my ship. Got dreams at the top, but no grind in the soul. Leaving me broke while she playing the role. I'm out here hustling, she just want to shine. Talking about feelings, but she crossing the line. Her drama's a storm, yeah, it's clouding my peace. Deadbeat energy, man, I need a release. Deadbeat woman, no bag, no dowry. Think she the table, but she just a story. Bringing no bread, but she want the glory. Deadbeat woman, drama queen, no quarry. She flexing on a gram, but her pockets on E. Talking big game, but it's all make believe. I'm carrying the weight, she just adding the pain. Bringing no value, but she raising the stakes. Her tears like a flood, but I'm seeing that act. Claiming she deep, but she shallow, that's fat. I'm trying to build wealth, she just breaking my back. Deadbeat woman, time to cut us a slack. No dowry, no hustle, she just wanna flex. Bringing nothing but...
Oh, that felt amazing. All right. So we're back. Let's see what the poll says real quick. Akash Singh update video. All right, let's do that one. Let me just end the poll. Dang it. I was going to see if we had some brain rot real quick. Okay, 20. Yeah, okay, so Dr. Grande came. Yeah, I mean, for me, it was like the Akash one or the Dr. Grande one. But the Akash one is just like, let's just see what's going on with the Akash one. I mean, real quick, though, I'm going to click on... I'm going to go on Instagram and just see if we got any... Because I know I've saved some reels. I just can't remember exactly. Okay. Oh gosh, that one was funny too. Dang it. Oh. Dang it, man. There's too many funny ones. I'm going to show you guys one that's like that's basically like it's like one from South Asia. Okay, so this one's going to be a little, you know, from a different culture. But I couldn't help but save it. And it says result of love marriage, okay? So what you got here, so you got this is mother-in-law, this is daughter-in-law. This is husband, this is wife, this is his mom, okay? And they're cooking dinner. All right. So so mother-in-law's trying to teach the daughter-in-law, like she's just sitting there like giving her pointers on how to cook dinner. You know what I mean? And now she's getting frustrated. She's like, I told you to put it up there, not put it there. And she's like, what the hell are you doing? Why are you putting it on the plate? Take the tortilla thing off and put it on the flame. And then now she said flip it. So basically the mom's just disappointed that like the son married this woman because they're in love and she's like basically useless. Oh my God. Okay. So there's one there. Okay, let me just find another one. Okay. Hey, this is what dating apps do to you, by the way. Right? This is what dating apps do to you right here. All right. This is how addictive dating apps get. Like you can't even focus. California deputy caught scrolling through dating app during SWAT operation. Okay, this is the gamification of the dating app. This is what makes you crazy.
That the deputy on the left right here was on his phone, appearing to be...
This is CBS LA. Look, he's going through... This is like Hinge or Bumble.
On a dating app. You see him scrolling through that woman's profile there on the app.
Look how crazy
it all started with this. The failed use of the new technology called the grappler sent the car into the wall there. And then for hours, SWAT deputies tried to negotiate with a man to come out of the car. And while SWAT was beginning to escalate the tactics they were using different types of gas, drones, and even banging out the windows here, it was something we caught a deputy doing from SkyCow. Take a look at the video here. You'll see as SkyCow was moving around.
I don't know, man. I think this is real, bro. Oh, you're talking about the last video? Yeah, it was probably a skit. You're probably right about that.
I'm trying to see each of the things that the deputies were
It was a skit, I'm sure.
We noticed that the deputy on the left.
This on the hand, this is real.
Right here was on his phone.
Look at that. This is so funny.
Appearing to be on a dating app. You see him scrolling through that woman's profile there on the app before swiping left and then swiping left 2 more times. It's important to note.
Isn't that so crazy?
Because look how close he is.
Oh, dang. I mean, I guess the situation wasn't that serious to him. He's probably like, they got it under control.
This barricade was active. The suspect was still alive at this point and armed, while this deputy right behind the cover of the Bearcat is sitting there scrolling through what
This is how addictive they make these things. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like there's an armed guy over there probably, and they haven't even got him secured. He's just like, man, let me see if she responded. And then she didn't respond. And he's like, let me just swipe a couple of them. And then all of a sudden, he's just in it, you know?
Appears to us to be a dating app. Now, we did look at the back vest of that deputy. We did see the letters SGT.
Oh, come on, man. Are they going to snitch? Oh, well, I guess everybody knows.
Which to us would indicate that he is a sergeant, potentially in a supervisory capacity here with the Riverside County.
He's in a leadership role. Oh, man. I hope he doesn't lose his job over it, man. Come on.
Sheriff SWAT team. Now, once we saw this, we looked back in, we saw him put the phone down, but you'll see one more time here, he appears to be scrolling through a profile there of a woman before swiping left and looking at 2 additional.
Swiping left. Shout out to him, man. Yeah, I mean, even judging from here, from the helicopter cam, I was like, that's probably a left swipe.
Profiles. All the while, just feet from this armed barricade suspect. We want to show you the response tonight from the Riverside County Sheriff's Office. They say, quote, this behavior does not reflect the standards.
Oh, man, that guy's getting the talking to. Well, you know. He was like, I don't know, man. It got me.
Expectations or policies of our department. We have initiated an internal investigation and will take appropriate action based on the findings. The sheriff's office remains committed to professionalism and holding our employees accountable. That standoff would ultimately end with sheriff's deputies shooting tear gas into the back of the car. The suspect, as we believe it now, turned the gun on himself. But tonight, it's the tactics of that deputy and what he was doing during that armed standoff that are being called into question.
This story is just going on another, like, man, I want, I'm kind of wondering, like, I hope the guy, didn't, God forbid. Anyway, so Christopher says here, God forbid a man finds the love of his life. This proves no one is ever too busy to text back. That's a pretty good one. That's a pretty good one. Plot twist, he's married. Oh, no. That'd be crazy. I'm watching this on my phone at work and thinking it's absurd. There's a lot of downtime during staging. Give the man a break. And they say men can't multitask. Most of us watching this post from our work site. He found love in a hopeless place. Let the man live. Geez, slow news day for you guys, I guess. Man, they got him in trouble, man. They got him in trouble. Oh, wow. Oh, 29 likes. Yeah, we're only 1 like away from 30. If you have not liked the video, please support the channel with the like. It would mean a lot. The game don't stop. Yep, Jake Shipwreck. The very exact example of if he wanted, he would. Imagine seeing yourself getting declined on a dating app on national news. CBS has nothing better to report on. Buddy is so calm in an armed standoff that he's trying to find true love. Leave man alone. True love. Well, Matt Walsh disagrees. Matt Walsh does not think you can find true love there. Okay, do you guys remember Mega Man? You guys remember Mega Man, right? Like you shoot the beam and then you can charge the beam. Everybody loved Mega Man. Mega Man is probably before some of your guys' times. I remember the PlayStation ones, but I think they did have some Super Nintendo ones. So let's go ahead and see what Mega Man has to say. Let's put that on 70. All right, here's Mega Man.
I'm glad Dr. Light designed a better robo-maid. Now I'll have more time to concentrate on being a robo-hero.
No offense, Roll, but I think you better stick to your housework.
All right, Mega Man. Okay, so well, one more brain rot video. Sorry, had to show you guys that one. I thought that one was good. Oh, dang. Dang it, there's a couple of them. Okay, this one seemed kind of funny. It's called Girl Logic. Okay. Started on NES CPU. Okay. Yeah, I mean, Mega Man is from so back in the day, they were telling women to pick the broom back up. All right, here we go. Let's see what this gentleman has to say. It's called Girl Logic.
Wait, so you don't want men to lust over you, but you show off your whole body to the public? Oh, you just do it for yourself, no one else? Oh, men are just disgusting. Oh, true. Wait, but you want a traditional gentleman, but you don't want to be a traditional wife? Oh, that's different? Oh, men suck. Oh, true. Wait, so if it's your body, your choice, shouldn't you have just chosen not to have unprotected sex? Oh, that's different? Oh, it's just a clump of cells? Oh. Wait, so if you're completely over your ex, why do you keep talking about his new girl and stalking him? Oh, you just like to look and laugh and make fun? Oh, true. Wait.
Okay, that one. Okay, enough of the brain rot today. We just did that as a little aside. Okay, yeah, so now let's go ahead and Michael Sain says we were in the middle of the Gulf War and everyone was taking out their cameras, taking pictures of the battle in the middle of it. Oh my gosh. You know what's so crazy? It's like I believe that. Like I believe that occurred. I could totally see that being a thing. Oh my gosh. Getting the selfie on the battlefield, man. That is all right. Anyways, so yeah, Akash. It's been a while since we see. I saw that it came out a day ago and it had a lot of likes. I was like, this match, like this is probably worth watching. I haven't actually watched it yet. From what I remember from him, the last thing was that I think they brought the wife on the show and they tried to like repair the damage or something, and people weren't really buying what she was saying. Like, I guess they were trying to say, like, it was all an act, or she was just trying to be funny. Basically, what happened is this guy's been working really hard and got a podcast, and he kind of got on, like, Fresh and Fit's case, because they did an interview, and he got on Fresh and Fit, and he took this whole, like, white knight role. Let's just be honest. And then his wife starts doing TikToks, and it's pretty embarrassing, and then he's pretty much revealed, like, she's pretty much got him, and it just looks really bad. Like, he just has no control, and it just keeps getting worse, and the humiliation rituals just keep happening, essentially. So, yeah, so that was kind of the last I heard of it, and, you know, it really wasn't looking good for him, but let's see what is going on now. So we'll go ahead and see here.
First week this was happening.
Okay, here we go. Start from the beginning.
This is happening. She goes, you know what, baby? God knows what's true. We know what's true.
That's right.
What else matters? Who cares what anybody thinks? And I was like, I care. What are you talking about? There's a side of me that's like, maybe it's a short guy thing, but I really identify with like Kendrick Lamar, where it's like, if we want beef, I'll destroy everything. I'll burn everything down. There's a little part of me that's pre-therapy.
No, we don't want that.
That's like, I don't care about the money. I don't care about whatever. You came at my wife. Let's just burn it all down.
All right, so it's been around.
What do you say about his wife?
Everything. I'll burn
you
everything.
came at my wife. Oh, so this is like a Will Smith, Jada Smith deal.
Down. There's a little part of me that's pre-therapy.
No, we don't want that.
That's like, I don't care about the money. I don't care about whatever. You came at my wife. Let's just burn it all down.
All right.
I don't care about the money. I don't care about whatever. You came at my wife.
Oh, you came at my wife. Okay, yeah. So this is like a Will Smith amygdala moment. You know, you came at my wife. I'm going to burn it all down. You know, gonna do something untoward to another, you know, celebrity.
Let's just burn it all down.
All right, so it's been around 5 months since we all sat back and witnessed the brutal humiliation ritual of Akash Singh.
Yeah, see, that's when they brought her on the show to try to fix the damage.
Which of course happened after his wife essentially tarnished his reputation in a lousy attempt to become an influencer, which got so embarrassing for Akash that he eventually had to step away from the Flagrant podcast, as he hasn't done an episode since last Christmas.
Wow, okay, see, I didn't know this because I don't watch the show, but so he hasn't been on the show for 4 months, even though he's like an integral part of the show. Oh, wait, since last Christmas. Hold on a second. Oh, no, yeah, okay, okay, yeah, 4 months ago. So, wow, so dang, so he didn't even go back on the show, man. So they were just like, hey, man, you got to step away. Or he just couldn't even do it. That's crazy.
Which he, of course, blames on his current comedy tour, but we all know it's because his wife exposed him for being a human doormat and...
Okay, so I guess there's a little bit of reason then. He's on a comedy tour.
Her personal ATM.
How do you and your husband split finances?
We don't. This is not a two-way street. This is a one-way street. His money is our money, and my money is my money. For those of you who are new...
Man, it's just so crazy, too, because, I mean, the culture that they hail from was pretty strict on this.
Dowry, it's my right.
But, you know, now they're doing this. You know what I mean? If he would have did this...
Dowry, it's my right.
It wouldn't be like this. So here we are.
Here, hi, my name is Justine. I'm a stay-at-home wife, but I don't cook or clean because I don't feel like
I'm a stay-at-home wife.
it. And my husband is a full-time stand-up comedian, and he buys me lots of nice things.
So, like, maybe she was trying to be bombastic there, and, you know, who knows? But there kept being other things that did look like maybe some of the stuff she was saying is true.
So she basically made Akash's whole fan base boot him off the internet. And based on this recent interview, it honestly seems like he's still having a super rough time with it all. Because if you guys don't remember, the craziest thing his wife did last year was when she constantly fantasized about other men on her podcast and bragged about all the fun she had in the frat house.
That's what it was. Yeah, I forgot about this part. Yeah, see, now it's coming back to me because the thing is that he was saying that they were both virgins. And it really didn't seem like she was a virgin with some of the frat house stuff she was talking about. So that was a big part of it right there.
Is back in college.
And see, and what was more significant about that is what coming off the heels of his kind of grilling of Fresh and Fit and Myron specifically with the sleep with 50 women thing. And Myron's like, well, I recommend guys to do that because then you can understand women better and not fall for these kinds of traps. And, you know, Akash is basically like, well, you're just like a 13-year-old kid or something like that, and a real man, blah, 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 whatever he said, you know, a mature person. And then he ended up basically getting played himself.
Which in and of itself was completely humiliating for Akash, as he was under the impression that she was a virgin when they first met.
My wife also hadn't had any sexual
Oh,
partnership.
yeah, there we go. Okay, yeah. So, yeah, that's him saying that.
So that helped us connect a lot more.
Now, let me ask you this. Do you believe her?
I was popping my pussy and living my best life in these white boy frat houses. And I
In
had
these white boy frat houses.
a roster of guys that I would rotate through. So it's like,
A roster of guys, or was she on somebody's roster?
So after that story spread like...
Did they add that sound effect?
through. So it's like,
So after
Yeah,
that story...
they did. Klaus says, I really feel for this guy. This must have hurt like hell. I have no idea how he deals with that sort of disrespect. Yeah, I mean, like, imagine like you go to work every day and you love going to work. It's like, oh man, time for a podcast with the boys. You know, like here's me, and then there's the Andrew Scholes guy or whatever. God forbid. You know, I don't know. And I love going to my job and I podcasting and it's fun and we're gonna crack jokes. And then like your wife just comes and destroys all that to where going to work is the worst thing. You don't want to go to the podcast. You can't go to the podcast. You dread going to the podcast now because you can't get over this. You know, I could kind of see why he decided to go on a comedy tour to get away from it. Like it probably really was rough.
rotate through. So it's like,
So after that story spread like wildfire across social media, it quickly became the only thing he was known for. Like nowadays, more people recognize Akash for being a simp rather than a stand-up comedian. He's essentially the podcast Will Smith. I mean, even
yeah, there it is. That's a good comparison. I mean, that's kind of what he said of the podcast Will Smith.
Rather than a stand-up comedian. He's essentially the podcast Will Smith. I mean, even to this very day, the comment section under each and every...
Michael Sane says, this is exactly how it is in divorce court, so you single fellas know how it would feel. Gosh, yeah, I mean, I appreciate you putting that out there, because, yeah, I mean, that, I can see what you're saying. I can see that. Klaus says, maybe I'm a quitter, but at this point, I would be immediately out of the marriage. Man, you know, Klaus, sometimes I think that to myself, too, and I'm just like, man, I don't even, like, would I just call the whole thing off at, like, the first sign of something like this? You know, I hope I would have more patience, but, you know. Akash is sitting in the corner while his wife parties with the white frat boys. We ain't fooled by these distractions. Release the Akash files.
Flagrant episode is...
Wow, these are all the comments under their podcast.
Absolutely flooded with people clowning on Akash.
Wow, look at that. Akash is blocking the Strait of Hormuz. Akash will live on in flagrant history in the comment section.
In his marriage, even though he...
Dang, all the comments are just going after him, and they all got likes, too.
Hasn't done an episode for...
Release the Akash files.
Over
wow.
4 months now. So this really didn't disappear like he thought it would. And it absolutely altered the...
It's just, you know, isn't it just nuts? It's like when the bubble pops, man, it goes from being like a dream to a waking nightmare. You know, like that's when the illusion, when the fantasy finally goes away. It doesn't go back to normal. It goes into being a nightmare first. You know. Okay.
Man's image for the very worse.
I'm a hustler who scams a little bit. I'm not a scammer who hustles.
I'm not gonna lie, that was sexy, and that's why I'm actively trying to have an orgy.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, his wife hitting on this other woman's husband, or I can't remember who that guy was. I think it might have been the husband of the co-host. I can't even remember.
I just know that Nav's dick is like at least 10 inches.
So once he realized that...
Like, I don't know if she's saying that to try to go viral, but some of it was just so flagrant that it just seemed like some of it was probably true.
Really wasn't anything he could do to salvage his dying reputation. He pretty much buried his head in the sand, quit the podcast, and proceeded to blame his absence on the comedy tour that he's doing right now.
Listen, I don't know if it's completely over for him, but there definitely needs to be a kind of, like, if he wants to be able to wreck this, there needs to be a death of the Akash that we all knew, and then maybe he could rise like a phoenix from the ashes. You know what I mean? But The only way to do that is he's going to have to be like, yes, you guys are all right. I've been in denial about this. I can see it clearly now. I was wrong about all this, and I'm going to try to move forward. I'm getting a divorce. I realize I got a lot of work I need to do in order to try to understand how I ended up in the situation with this woman and go from there. But it's probably not really going to happen. You know what I mean? Like it is kind of a Will Smith Jada situation. You know what I mean? Because it's like Will Smith didn't do that with Jada. He's still there. And so, yeah, I mean, it doesn't look, you know, and I mean, even the Sarah Stock situation, right, with her husband, like, I mean, we don't actually know. They could still be together, right? I mean, I think she just kind of disappeared from the internet. So who knows, right? Like, and, you know, I think we do know he was a virgin when he met her. So, you know, probably easier said than done. Dan the Man says, I think she did it to go viral. After all, she wants fame too. Imagine that. Like, it's like you're married and like your spouse is famous. They make probably millions of dollars because of their social media fame. And it's not good enough for you. It's like, no, I want to be famous too. Both of us want to be famous. And then to add insult to injury, the way you try to get famous on the internet is by riding on the coattails of your spouse. It's like, why don't you do something that's actually special or unique, that's unique to do? And then if you did get famous, you'd be like, oh, that's Akash's wife? Oh, what? That's crazy. So they're both big on the internet. Instead, it's like, hey, I'm Akash's wife. You know what I mean? And like, I want to be famous too.
Which is, of course, a pretty pathetic excuse, because nearly every single comedian you see doing a weekly podcast is doing a comedy tour at the exact same time. Because, believe it or not, it turns out podcasting is literally the easiest job in the world. The real reason Akash is not on Flagrant anymore is because the dynamic he used to have with Andrew Schultz and the other co-hosts is permanently screwed. I mean, they would essentially have to tiptoe around making fun of the guy and his relationship because he's just way too sensitive about it, which he makes pretty obvious in this recent interview he did with Hot 97, where he basically just embodies that meme of that guy sobbing behind a smiley face mask. Like he's
oh, that's like the Stewie cry. I think I got that one.
Clearly infuriated by this entire thing, and sadly enough, he's actually forced himself to believe that the only reason he received any backlash was because he's super famous.
You know you need to thank her, right?
All the time.
You need to thank her. Okay, yeah, so I mean, he kind of sounds like he's deep in it, I guess, still. Orem says, this is why you need to make fun of old fat cat ladies. It's to get them back for these antics from when they were younger. Michael says, crazy. 100 years ago, a woman saying she was a virgin getting married was not a surprise. Today, it's not a surprise to hear men being virgins before marriages and not believing women saying it. Yeah, man, crazy how times change, huh?
Non-stop things.
I know. I see her. I love her, by the way. She
loves
backlash was because he's super famous.
You know you need to thank her, right?
All the time. I buy her non-stop things.
I know. I see her.
So you need to thank her. He's like, all the time I buy her non-stop things. So his way of thanking her is by constantly buying her things. That doesn't say he would say thank you. Like, why? I always buy her things.
You know you need to thank her, right?
All the time. I buy her non-stop things.
I know.
I buy her non-stop things.
I see her. I love her, by the way.
She loves you. She and I have a relationship where it's like, I don't give a what you say. She can give a what I say. I have her location. She has my location. Every time if you look at 90% of her TikToks, they're on our couch. Like, she don't go nowhere without me. So I'm like, whatever you say, I don't care. I know you. But the internet just ran with it and made it a thing. And at first, it really f***ed me up.
I wanted to.
Got a little bored. Made some. Oh, did you share them in the Discord? All right, let's bring that up real quick. Sorry, I've been appreciating the AI. Let's see what we got. Oh man, I like Robert's animations here, man. Those are fun. Those are fun, Robert. These are really cool. Where's my dowry? Yep. Exactly. Man, I don't know what it is. I always appreciated this background, man. This just seems like a really cool place. This is like the tavern, you know. Thank you for these images, man. I always appreciate seeing the AI stuff. It's in Discord, but I have to go. Got work tomorrow. No worries, man. Thanks for coming in, Dan. It's always a pleasure, brother. Till next time. We're just gonna finish out this video and then I'll call the stream.
Ask you, how did you really feel? Because like I can't ever gauge, because you are a comic, you're so good at this, you do have thick skin.
Yeah.
I have seen, well, like, meaning for the most part, the success that you have had, I don't know, I don't feel like things really phase you like that. So I couldn't gauge if it really hurt.
I was deeply phased.
But what hurt you about?
It's just they're saying it about your wife, and I think the stuff they say.
See, it's about what they're saying about my wife. It's like, dude, your wife made a bunch of bombastic content to get reactions out of people. Like, this is what you wanted. This is what she wanted when she made the content. And then when they make a bunch of this bombastic content and people are reacting to it and they're like, huh? Like, it actually worked. It got the fame. You know what I mean? But it's like, then you're going to be, yeah, people are going to react to it and say stuff. Klaus says this guy is so screwed. He can't accept the truth and is lying to himself. That's really sad. When he gets in his rage phase, it will be brutal. Yeah, that's the thing, because he's still kind of like, he's still in denial, basically. Thought he said he was okay with it. See, that's another thing.
About me will make me insecure.
Yeah, good point there, J. Cote, because he was like, yeah, I mean, whatever you say, whatever I say, then it's just like, well, it fazed me. But he's blaming it on everybody else. He's blaming it on what the other people said. But it's like, well, if you don't care what she's saying, and then the rest of the world starts to care what she's saying, then, you know, you can't sit here and be mad at everybody else's comments, you know?
When you're saying this about my wife and you're calling her all this vile stuff, people were messaging my mom and her mom saying she's a whore, she's this, she's that. It was like, yo, this is crazy how far this has gone. And everything she gets said, y'all are chopping up. And I've probably done this to 1,000 famous people, so I don't knock the people who did it.
Sure.
But it did let me, I think God does everything for a reason. And I think for me, this was God's way. Because this is how I found out I had some level of fame.
So once you hear this insane cope of his, it's just really hard to feel bad for the guy. Like, he truly believes that his wife's an angel who's done absolutely no wrong. And the only reason they received any backlash was because they're so famous and important. Which is just so funny because before this humiliation tour, Akash was only really known for being Andrew's knee whenever Schultz would breathe.
But don't...
Did he say act like a hype man?
Only really known for being Andrew Schultz's yes man.
Yes man, okay.
Laugh like a hyena and slap his knee whenever Schultz would breathe.
But don't...
Yeah, J. Cote, if he doesn't care about what she is saying, then he shouldn't care about the reaction of people. Yeah. I mean, it's just like, you're gonna inevitably get the blowback from that.
Like, that was pretty much the extent of his presence online. So if anything, the story about his wife ruining his career was more famous than anything he's ever done. But of course, Akash chalks it up to him just being an absolute world.
Wow, the story about his wife ruining his career is more famous than anything he's ever done.
So if anything,
according to what this guy is saying.
The story about his wife ruining his career was more famous than anything he's ever done. But of course, Akash chalks it up to him just being an absolute world-famous A-list comedian.
This is recent.
Yeah,
so you're just realizing you're.
My bad. You say I'm silent. Hopefully you guys can hear me. If not, just let me know in the chat. Am I muted? That happens sometimes. Did the sound go out? Damn. Give me a second. Oh, Robert, you hear me? Let's see. Type 1 if you can hear me. Man, yeah, I got to figure out whatever the hell it is. I mean, the stream died earlier today. I'm paying top dollar for the internet. I'm telling you, I'm going crazy for the upload speed. I'm going to actually have to call these people and just see what's going on. So, yeah,
I didn't know.
Sound is fine. Okay. Michael, you might need to reload the stream. I would just try that, man. So Sounds like people are hearing me, so I'll just go as normal, okay?
Chalks it up to him just being an absolute world-famous A-list comedian.
This is recent.
Yeah,
So you're just realizing your fame now?
I didn't know because people would be like, "What was your I made it moment?" I was like, I haven't made it. What are you talking about?" And now it's like,
Let's go back one more time. Sorry, I want to hear. Okay.
Of his presence online. So if anything, the story about his wife ruining his career was more famous than anything he's ever done. But of course, Akash chalks it up to him just being an absolute world-famous A-list comedian.
This is recent.
Yeah,
So you're just realizing your fame now?
I didn't know because people would be like, "What was your I made it moment?" I was like, I haven't made it. What are you talking about?" And now it's like, well, when the whole world called my wife a whore, I realized I'm doing okay.
Oh my God. Okay, yeah. So he's kind of, well, I mean, I think he was doing pretty well before, but the wife thing definitely made him go way more, get more notoriety. It's like there's fame and then there's infamy. And the wife thing made him infamous, but can't hear you. That's super odd, man. I don't know. The stream might be just dying, bro. The stream might be dying, dude. I really don't know what else to say on that. I'm not sure what else it would be. All the connections are good. We're almost hitting 3 hours anyways. He was speaking in silent ink. Let's see. Yeah. I had to jump off and then come back on. Okay, so it might need to be reloaded. Let me try reloading this screen and just see what it does. I mean, this might destroy the whole thing. Can you hear him now? Okay, all I did was reload my restream. You know what I'm gonna have to do, guys? I'm gonna have to just redo my whole stream setup. It's been weird the past couple weeks, so something isn't right. But yeah. Either way, if you guys can hear me now, let's go back in.
Made it.
Yeah, that's how I found out. But I think it was just like, I'm watching them say this about her. Y'all don't know her. You're doing it off a 2-minute TikTok.
That's right.
I know this woman, and I read people pretty well. That's kind of like what most of my clips are about.
Right.
I'm not that big of a moron that a girl would lie to me for 14 years or whatever.
Right.
10.
See, this is the part he can't. This is the part that he can't admit to himself. If he admits it to himself, he has to say, "I was lied to for 14 years. Like, I got played this whole time. I was none the wiser." And I think that's what makes this real difficult.
Years about being a virgin, and I would not even bother watching her TikToks to find out she talks about getting, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
None of this, how are we believing this? I couldn't understand it.
And so constantly during this interview, he bounces back and forth between the ideas that his wife was completely joking and that she was just being true to herself with everything she said, which automatically confirms that this guy is struggling to face reality even to this very day. Like, even though he swears that she never lied to him about being a virgin, the truth is simply out there for everyone to see. Like, she was never trying to be a comedian in any of these videos. She actually seemed to be trying to go down this girl boss influencer route, and it honestly appeared as if she was trying to make her terrible podcast into a cheaper version of the Call Her Daddy podcast, which revolves around gossiping and telling raunchy true stories about their past lives.
And I made the dumb mistake of letting him sleep over, like not really wanting to fucking hook up. And I woke up in the morning and my asshole was a little sore.
Oh my God.
So are you lying? Are you not lying?
So it's just hilarious to hear Akash say that his wife was just being a comedian and telling fake stories, then immediately following it with she was bravely being her true self.
So I mean, I don't know. Listen, I'm sure sometimes comedians embellish things or tell fake stories, but I don't know. You know what I mean? Are they really known for lying all the time?
And that she was so courageous to double down with who she truly is.
J. Cote says the sad part of it is that if he admits what we all think, we would start looking at him and not her. And that is the part he cannot face. Yeah. I mean, because he's going to have to come under the microscope. And he talked so big about this stuff, especially with the Fresh and Fit guys when they were on there. whatever you think about them, but the fact, like, he came in with some real things to say about kind of this, you know, the men's space, so to speak, and he made it sound so simple and easy. And here we are, you know?
Like, the mental gymnastics that he's doing here is simply out of control.
I get it. How did she feel about everything?
She was, I mean, look, it affected her for sure, but she said, this is where I don't like, I wish people knew, and I said this to her before she started doing social media. She's the most, like, multi-dimensional person I know, where she pops off, says crazy shit, says disrespectful shit, but
says she's the most multi-dimensional person I know, where she pops off, says crazy stuff, the most disrespectful person I know. It's like, dude, this is your wife. So, like, what he's basically saying is he's got no control here. She does whatever she wants. He buys her everything. She pays nothing, brings nothing. He's got nothing. He's got, like, no frame with this.
Doing here.
Look, it affected her for sure, but she said, this is where I don't like, I wish people knew, and I said this to her before she started doing social media. She's the most, like, multi-dimensional person I know, where she pops off, says crazy shit, says disrespectful shit.
Says disrespectful stuff.
But also is so spiritual, so grounded, and so, like, she just kind of kept that energy. She was like, whatever y'all think about me is whatever y'all think about me. I know who I am. God knows who I am.
Well, then there you go. Yeah, I mean, people are going to think what they're going to think about this.
And that's it.
I love that.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, it's stressful, and, like, I had to realize there's a lot of people's voices in your ear, like, talking in your ear, like, she needs to do this, she needs to do that. And then I had to realize, like, she's the one that's actually strong and courageous, and the rest of us are, like, running and hiding.
Yeah, this is like on some Will Smith, Jada level
and going dark and blah, blah, blah. And she's like, no, I know who I am. Go f yourselves. Yeah, so...
So as you can tell, guys, Akash probably knows deep down that his wife leeches off of him and treats him like trash. He's known this forever, and was just lucky that she kept it behind closed doors all this time. The fact that she aired everything out to the public last November, though, and exposed his truly miserable existence, is really the only thing getting to him. With that being said, though, I think this
guy found a lot of footage from their wedding.
All inevitable, and that the people around him, like Andrew Schultz and all of Akash's buddies, are probably pretty happy that this all came out. Because apparently they tried a bunch of times during Flagrant to hint at him that he's getting stepped on by Jesleen. Like, they desperately wanted everyone to know this, but they just couldn't break the story because he's their friend.
Keep your... Man, so they were trying to tell him the whole time.
Wife off the internet.
Dang. Klaus says his wife is true born-again virgin material. It certainly fits that pattern.
Why does your wife have a...
If there was no truth to it, he wouldn't be defending her like this. That's true. Like, yeah, I mean, you're right. Why would he be? He'd just be like, well, I mean, you guys are all ridiculous. There's clearly nothing to say. It's so obvious. You guys can't see it. But, I mean, he's really got to go after it like this and try to get ahead of it, but that's not really working.
Microphone in her face. Do not allow your wife to start a motherfucking podcast, bro. Yes.
But at the very least, it seems like Akash is starting to try and grow from this, but sadly enough, no matter how much he tries, there is still absolutely nothing he can do to change his ungrateful wife and her obsession with his money. Because unlike Akash...
Man, you know, step one is he's got to face the truth, man. I mean, I know that's probably the hardest part, and there's a whole process after that, but he's really got to get past the denial part. And then, you know, he can begin, you know, rebuilding from this.
Gosh, it seems like she's literally incapable of reflecting on her own actions or taking even a shred of accountability in this entire thing. Because as long as she gets to sit around her penthouse and incinerate Akash's Patreon money, she has no reason to change. And she made this pretty obvious in this recent podcast.
That is just something right there, huh?
Patreon money. She has no reason to change. And she made this pretty obvious in this recent podcast she did about a month ago.
Okay, so she's still on the... Okay, so it's still going on.
Blamed all the backlash on the fans of the Flagrant podcast, labeling them as racist and right-winged, which is such a pathetic comment.
Labeling them as racist and right-wing. Okay, so she's going for the 2014 play, huh?
Out.
I know the periphery of Akash's fan base, which is, I will say, more of the podcast fan base. And I know a lot of people during like our controversy were saying like, oh, it's because of his fans. It's because of his fans. Like, his comedy fans are not like that. It's more the podcast fan base that I don't think really resonate with him because a lot of them are like really racist and right wing. I think like
Oh gosh. J. Cote says that is what he is wrestling with, the truth. Oh,
those
man.
of them are more like that. But yeah, anyways, I said like those peripheral fans, like they might.
No, I don't think it's because they're racist and whatever. What's the other thing she said? Right wing. Maybe I don't know about the right wing part, but they just see something glaringly wrong, so they just can't help but say something. They're like, dude, how do you not see this?
Come at us just because.
And like the more he denies it, the more that like the more that they say something. It's like a dam about to break, and it finally did break. Look at this gigantic diamond right here. That's all the money right there, just moving in.
Because we're
brought nothing into the
dowry. It's my right.
Zero, zilch, nada. Destroys everything, the reputation, spends the money. It's a real story right here. It's a real 2026 story.
Brown girls being opinionated and they don't like opinionated women. But yeah, anyways, I said like those peripheral fans, like they might come at us just because we're brown girls being opinionated and they don't like opinionated women.
So it seems like every time she opens her mouth, she somehow digs Akash's grave even deeper than it was before. Because beyond the fans of Flagrant bashing her for her own actions, she seems to be forgetting that essentially the entire world joined in with them too. Like this wasn't a racist, right-winged attack. It was actually more of a universal understanding. I mean, for a couple weeks there, everyone...
Yeah, that's true. Like, it wasn't like one segment of people that were saying this, right? Like, I don't notice only white right-wing guys saying this. I mean, I think everybody was pretty united on the message here. J. Cote says, notice how she got very political for something she did. Now, all of a sudden, it is about some sort of gender freedom. Yeah, that's what it is. They just hate, the people are saying that they just hate women, or they just hate, brown people or whatever it happens to be. Like, no, those people are just bothered and annoyed by Akash ignoring an obvious truth. And they can't help but say something. They've seen something, they've seen an injustice, and they're calling it out.
All corners of the internet came together to agree that this
brown
woman
girl, she looks Persian. She's seems like, I mean, she's got some melanin, but
is a soulless
not
monster.
the darkest.
There were even a bunch of female Indian influencers who called her out for it, saying that they don't claim her and that she's giving Indian women.
I mean, shout out to those Indian influencers who, I mean, that's probably the way to go. They're like, wait a minute, she didn't have one of these?
No dowry. It's my right.
A really bad reputation. So for her to claim that this was a coordinated, a bunch of female Indian influencers who called her out for it, saying that they don't claim her and that she's giving Indian women a really bad reputation. So for her to claim that this was a coordinated attack by misogynistic, right-winged men really just shows you how clueless she really is.
And the other brown girls are coming out and like, wait a minute. No, she does not. No, hold on a second. We don't agree with that.
Still is.
I remember because you asked me this question, like, what is it like to look at like think pieces and people analyzing your marriage and your personality? It feels weird and it feels surreal because
but you wanted this. Like, you were talking about all this stuff on TikTok and you were putting it out there. Like, of course people are going to talk about it. That's the part that's like kind of nutty. It's like this, yeah, I mean, Klaus says, yeah, they must be real racist, as Akash doesn't have a darker skin, sure. This racist skit is so over. Nobody cares about skin color anymore. Well, yeah, and I mean, listen, I mean, were they racist when he was on the podcast and it was doing really well? Like, no, then all of a sudden it was fine. And I don't think it's just the peripheries of his audience that are commenting on this. It seems like these are all top comments. These are like his core viewer base of that podcast, More typing is hard. No worries. More, yeah. She doesn't realize that with she doesn't realize that what is at stake, that with what is at stake here, it doesn't matter where she is from. It matters what she did in her past life. She doesn't realize everyone is saying the same thing. That's the thing.
you're like,
yeah, good
but
point.
you don't know me. You don't know anything about me.
I mean, well, you went out there and you said who you were.
Never talked to me. Like, you're taking the
But you talked to us.
Intention of this video in the complete wrong way. And I mean, this obviously goes without saying, but the misogyny was like really crazy because obviously we know it exists in our society, but to see it so rampant and like full force and just like unapologetically there, I was like, oh my God, like this is a real fucking thing.
Listen, it's not even misogyny. Like at this point, it's just the advice is, hey, get off the internet because you're not helping. It's literally trying to help them mitigate damages here.
And it's like, it was bizarre to me because I'm like,
and I mean, her whole thing was to try to bait that out, right? Like in the video clip we saw earlier, it's just like, I'm a stay-at-home wife and I don't cook or clean. Like she was trying to speak to these elements of people, if anything, you know what I mean? And it's like, they came out and they told you what they thought. She told us who she was. Now she's blaming us for going with what she said. Yeah, like she was just like, I'm a stay-at-home wife. And I just spend my husband's money and I don't cook and clean. It's like you were trying to get some type of reaction. You can't make this up. Yeah. You don't know me while spilling the goods. How delusional. Yeah. I mean, listen, you don't have to know someone. Some people, you can go on a first date with them and they will give you their whole life story. They will tell you everything in, you know, one, you know, coffee or tea session there.
my husband can go on stage and literally has a joke in his special about like getting a hooker isn't like cheating, it's just outsourcing, which I really don't care. Like, I think it's a funny joke.
But he didn't say he was getting a hooker personally, did he? Maybe he did.
But it's like, if I say something that's equally, you know.
But she's talking about specifically her in the action of doing it, not just in general somebody else doing it. She is trying to gaslight everyone. Michael's saying, yeah, you're right about that. You're right about that. Orem, I think she expects everyone to understand that she was just bragging about stuff that wasn't true. Like
raunchy, like
that's what I think she's hoping people go with.
Or all these things.
It's just pretty unfortunate that Myron Gaines, out of all people, was the first one to
You know he was going to jump on it because they gave him so much crap when he went on the show.
break this story, because she now feels justified in falling back on this terrible excuse of everyone being racist women haters against her. But it's not like everyone's siding with...
I mean, you know, maybe he's racist. I mean, he certainly says some stuff, but, you know... pot calling the kettle black sort of situation.
Myron, by pointing
if it
out
was, I don't think there really is much of that figuring into this.
Insanity of Jasleen and her. But it's not like everyone's siding with Myron by pointing out the insanity of Jasleen and Akash. Like, you don't really have to align yourself with what Myron Gaines stands for to see that he was completely accurate during his coverage of this story.
I wish they would show a clip from when the first time he was on their show, because really, when it comes to Myron, that's what it is. It's like they gave him a lot of flack, and I guess Fresh too. I think they were both there. A lot of flack, and it was particularly Akash that kind of came out at him. I think Andrew was playing like good cop, but this guy was bad cop right here. And so, I mean, as soon as this broke, this is more like a I guess you can say a sort of retribution type thing.
Simply just jumping through every hoop she can think of here.
I don't even want to say his fucking name, but this fucking loser whose name you said, like he was on the
Okay, I think she's talking about
Flagrant
Myron.
podcast like 5 fucking years ago.
Okay, yeah. So she knows about it herself.
And my husband just humbled the shit out of him and basically
See, there it is. Oh my God. Oh, yeah. See, she messed it up. Oh man. My husband humbled the shit out of him. And now it's your turn to get humbled. You know? Sometimes we got to get humbled in life, and it's hers. It's her turn. It's the husband's turn. But they refuse to acknowledge the humbling. It's like, just take the L and start again from there, you know?
he embarrassed him because he was like, I think what you do is corny and it's not really helping men. So there's that.
And then here's Akash.
I think every year he would try to like bait them by being like, oh, you guys are pussies or you guys are this. But then every year that clip would circulate. And I think deep down it really embarrassed and humiliated and emasculated him.
And then she just so all this happened. And then for some reason, she just needed to give them all the ammo that he needed. she just decided, like, let me just give you all this ammunition. Like, hey, Myron, here's all this gas right here. Why don't you just pour it all over this and light a match? Let me give you the match, too.
So when all of this first started, it was like very clear to see that there was like a lot of bot farming as well.
Yeah, see, now this is almost like non sequitur level. It went from like racism and this to bot farming and this. It's just going everywhere. Jay Cote says she should have stopped talking, but she was making it worse every chance she got.
And I could tell there were bots because like the 1,500 followers I gained on Instagram, I immediately lost like within the span of 2 months. So it was like.
And then for the 9th inning grand slam, she finally addresses the allegations of her lying to Akash about being a virgin before they met, doubling.
Okay, let's see.
Down that after 4 years of bopping around in the frat houses, that she was indeed a virgin when she first met Akash.
When it's like, but the reality is what the reality is. It's like, I was a virgin when I met my husband. We lost our virginity to each other.
Okay, so she's claiming she was a virgin. Klaus says, man, she keeps digging. Now we know how she was successful at gold digging too. Yeah, exactly. Good one. That is.
Because when I was in college, I dated this guy. He was going down on me.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I mean, listen, man, the fact that she was out there doing stuff, you know.
But you know it, I was still spotting. And also, if you're like poking around down there, like more blood can sometimes come out even if your period is over. And I swear to God, like I thought my period was done. And I never made that a part of my identity.
Like, okay, you know, I mean, maybe it's not full on, but there's enough going on there.
I only shared that because I share my life story because I'm an oversharer.
She said she had a roster. Like, I mean, was it a roster of guys that were just doing that to her? I don't know. I'm sure the frat bros were pushing, you know, but whatever. Okay, you know, maybe she was, I guess, you know.
Y'all made it a part of my identity and then used it against me. I don't give a f if I was a virgin or I wasn't, or if my body count was 100, but it wasn't. Those are just facts. So if you
facts, those are claims.
Want to take like tongue-in-cheek videos and make it into something it's not, like that's not really a reflection of me. That's a reflection of them. And I think.
So just based on how she stumbled around this topic, it almost seems like even she doesn't believe that super blatant lie, because she claims that it doesn't even matter whether or not she was a virgin, even though it seemed like a huge reason as to why Akash married her in the first place. Because as a 30-year-old virgin, he took pride in the fact that he finally found his perfect match. Like,
man, yeah, see, he was living deep in the Disney fantasy. Jay Cote says, wait, she is still making it worse by telling us these things? She was that disgusting? Now no one would believe this. So her body count is 100. There is a lot of reason to doubt. Whether it was or wasn't, I guess we can't know, but there are doubts.
He was really the only guy that gave her that label.
Bria, I'm actively trying to have an orgy. Because this couple is so fucking good looking and you haven't seen Nav yet, but wait till you fucking see him. His body goes crazy. His face card always slays, never declines. And it's kind of weird because I'm talking about your husband.
So this whole podcast she did a month ago really just made everything worse for the two. But anyways, it looks like Akash is actually in New York right now for one of his tour dates. So if he doesn't stop by the studio and shoot the podcast for the week that he's there, that will most definitely confirm that he's done with Flagrant for good. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Anyways, guys, thanks so much for watching.
I mean, it's probably really awkward for his co-hosts too, because it's like they're trying to do the show and they talk about these things. And if all the comments are about your one co-host, it's almost in the, like, it's the co-hosts of the show are incentivized to get him to come clean and just be like, I messed up, guys. And, you know, you're right. Because then at least he's holding the whole show hostage, because every comment under all the episodes they do, like the other co-hosts can't even like focus on the other stuff because all the comments are just going to be Akash. Release the Akash files. Release the Akash files. They're like, damn, like it's, I don't know. He needs to really come in and be like, yeah, guys, I messed up. And then finally they like, maybe the audience will let them move on to like whatever the next chapter is, you know? She said she was a virgin when she met Akash. She didn't say she was still a virgin when they got together. Oh man, yeah, something is weird. Can you imagine being married to a woman who gaslighted you as much as she does her audience? Truth is, he doesn't know what to believe. Let's just say no, she is not a virgin. Let her talk. Yeah, that's true. I mean, he's deep in it. J. Cote says, honestly, once Akash found out, he couldn't walk away because that is when culture comes in. All men see certain things the same. And he knows this. Yeah. Klaus says, and I have no idea how he could trust her again, ever. Oh, what the heck?
First week.
So let's see the comments here. That was a pretty good comprehensive video. Being single is better than this humiliation ritual. Yeah, I mean, it's really true. I identify with Kendrick Lamar. Yeah, okay, bro. I'll burn it all down. Watch everyone. We got a badass. Watch out, everyone. We got a badass over here. As if being Andrew Schultz's #1 cheerleader wasn't humiliating enough. Dude has aged 10 years since the drama. You don't have to work, cook, clean, but you want to be famous so badly you're willing to destroy the dude who took care of you. That's rough. It's like, maybe if she cooked or cleaned or did some of these other things, she would have had something to share on, social media to make her legitimately famous. She could have been like, hey guys, watch me as I do this thing today. And people would have been like, she's tight. We like her. Instead, she's just like, I don't do anything. All I do is spend my husband's money, and this is my husband, and I want to be famous. And it's just like, there you go. Heroes Ford says, so from what I remember, no prenup, right? So she's walking away with cash and prizes. Yeah, I don't recall hearing about a prenup. So I think you are correct there. Bro looks exhausted. Nah, his wife, Jocelyn, broke him. The internet just tried to wake his ass up for him to stop being a doormat. Yeah, it was really like the internet is trying to point out what's going on here. I'm sure they, probably say it in such a way, but his wife treats him like a cash machine. Oh, come on. Oh my gosh. The copium from Akash not wanting to admit his wife was everyone's stress reliever in college is insane. Akash said he is definitely getting a divorce, but only if his wife lets him. She has my location. I have her location. Bro, she is not worried about where you are. She probably doesn't even care. Who cares what anybody thinks? She says to her husband, whose career depends on what other people think. Gosh. You love to see the downfall of a guy that took hits at everyone and now is just trying to hide from taking hits back. That's really that is what's going on there. That's the problem. It's like, you got to take the hit, and it's just like the audience wants to see him do that. That's what it seems like. When they met and Akash said he was a virgin, she looked at him, paused for a minute, then slowly said, so am I. I'll never not cringe at the dodging of kisses. Who the F does that? Regular gold diggers would at least put on a show, for F's sakes. Perfect timing. I was doing nothing. I don't care about the money. Sure. 14 years together and no kids. She doesn't want to have kids with them. Oh, I didn't even think about that part. 14 years together. I can't remember how long they said they were together. That's an interesting thing, too. I mean, it's like she's at home. She does nothing. That is odd. Oh, man. That's how I found out I made it. No, buddy, that's how you found out your career trajectory is over. Every hotel has the Akash chair. My life isn't great, but at least I'm not Akash. This guy was on Guy Code and is on Flagrant. His career is to judge and roast people publicly. Even his stand-up is him roasting hecklers and people in the crowd. How the hell is going to cry over this now? You know how many times he's talked about and roasted other guys' wives, girlfriends, and their relationships publicly over the year? I mean, see, that's not helping. Imagine being exposed by Myron of all people. You took my videos in the complete wrong way. There's no other way to take it, ma'am. Flagrant podcast equals cross your legs and slap your buddy's knee. I dated a girl like this, but thankfully I was the guy on her roster and not the guy she chose to ruin. Gosh. At least no child support. Yeah, there you go. That's one thing. No kids. Yeah, just dump her. I know, man. I think at this point, that's... I want to say that's where it's heading, but I'm not entirely confident that that's actually where it's heading. Like it, because, you know, like Will Smith is deep in it. You know what I mean? This guy is deep in it. Like it's... But, I mean, he needs to take the path out of here, you know? It's not going to be easy. He's going to need to go through the underworld first and then hopefully come out of that into a beautiful new day, you know? Oh, my gosh. So, yeah, that's, that one's tough. You know, I think Akash should have listened to these songs here. Like this one. Well, we made it to the end, guys. Will Smith has kids. That's true. This was a kind of this was a fun stream. Unfortunately, I had some technical issues. I'm really going to try to work on it so we don't have those issues next week. I don't know what the problem is. I might have to talk with my internet service provider, and I'm just going to test things out. I gotta take off. It's late. Have a good one, guys. Thanks for coming in, Aura, man. I appreciate you. Yeah, but his kids turned out weird, right? They were leading that cultural phenomena for a bit there. At least Akash's wife won't pass on her genes. Well, that's yet to be seen. Shout out to Luke Nielsen for this amazing song. We got 31 likes in here. That's pretty sweet, man. Shout out to everybody who liked the video and the 24 people still watching. We'll be here same time next week, 7 p.m. Pacific time. And, you know, I also want to release, you know, just a couple other videos throughout the week. Hopefully make that a regular thing. Can't be one. Always a pleasure, bro. Thank you. No, I appreciate you, man. Until she meets a guy like you, says Klaus. I don't know. Not if Gamer has anything to say about this. Gamer was like, what? She mentioned orgies? Gamer could probably make that happen for her. 33 likes. Nice. True, I would. Shout out to you, Gamer. Gamer gave us a very interesting perspective on just things on this in this stream tonight. We got to get a nice look into a very different lifestyle. So appreciate you sharing that experience with us, Gamer. Thanks, Shah. No worries, Michael. I'll look out for your email. I really appreciated the stuff you shared today. I thought that was pretty cool. Interesting angle on the whole thing, you know, so we'll look into that more. I'm probably gonna have some more dessert after this show. I'm pretty much in full eat whatever I want till Sunday. Then I gotta turn things around. Candy woman. Candy woman. I guess it's more like Akash is not passing on his genes. Oh, man. You know. It's tough when, like, everything you think is perfect and then it all gets destroyed. You know what I mean? That's where it's just really rough, you know? Gosh. Yeah, I hope everybody has a good week. Shout out to everybody. Thanks for being here. I'm trying to grow the channel. My plan's to release like 5 to 10 minute videos. Go back to doing that. And just, you know, hopefully one of them just pops and I get some subscribers. Just keep going from there. And then maybe that'll lead to bigger streams every weekend. So here's hoping, man. That's where my mind is at. I would love to make the channel into something, you know, bigger. So that's where I'm at. Give me my dowry. By the way, thanks for the AI art, everybody. I really appreciate that. I even bought a little Wario figure that should be here by tomorrow. So next time you see me, you'll see Wario holding a gold coin, probably right here or around here somewhere. Have a good evening. I'm up to 10 pregnancies now in just this year alone, by the way. Gamer, you're definitely hitting the high score, man. You're going for the high score, bro. You will make it big, I'm sure of that. Just don't forget us when you do. I don't think I can forget y'all, man. I don't think I can. It'll be fun. You guys will probably all become default mods when that happens. Not that you have to do anything, but, you know, in case you needed to, so. This song is too smooth right here. And remember, Paul's new podcast is coming soon, so that's in the works. My dowry. Man, I'm gonna eat some beef, and then I'm gonna make some tea and have some sweet with that. It's gonna be nice. Give me my dowry. All right, legends. Till next week. And you'll see some videos coming this week, too.